Okay, these pieces, be'emes, there's the Rabbi Shachat in the Migdal Ercha very stressed once through the whole Erechis when you get to these pieces, but if you ever looked at it or not, but we'll go a little bit to different. Anybody that saw it or anybody that wants to see it, ich sag nur wegen dem, but again a bisschen anders. Let's start. Let's see. We'll just go to the Pashto Pshat and then we'll see what's the just to bring out the diuk of the Marmukaimis that the Rebbe chose to bring by each kata. So first, the piece of Yachatz. Yachatz. Then we'll see the Gemara. So the piece of Yachatz. What's the seder we state the way we do it is that after first is Kiddush and then Karpas, Latmiyas Atinaikis, and then comes before the Haggadah comes Yachatz. Yeah, that's Yachatz. Mitzubrech the Mitzvah. So the Rebbe brings the Rebbe steht the Rebbe in Siddur. What's Yakach v'Yikach Matzah and Tzois? You take the middle Matzah uPersal l'Shnayim. Chelik Echad Gadol Mechaver. One should be bigger than the other Chelik. You shouldn't break them in even halves. One should be bigger. Chelik HaGadol Yaneich LaFikayman. That's going to be for later for the Fikayman. VaHakotten Maniach Ben HaBeis Mazos. So what's the Rebbe Mevaer? So V'Yikach. So the Shad of what's happening to brechen? Why do you have to break the Matzah at this shlav of the seder? And the MS is that nicht other this brings the richtige Gemara as a zach that before you say that God before Avodah Mayinu before Manishtana before Magid. I don't have the right page. But before Magid hebt sich an bei Manishtana. So before Magid you break the matzah in half. Steht in der God as a zach. It doesn't say anywhere in the Gemara such a thing. Also in the Rishain, the Rambam Marshal says the Rambam doesn't say that you break the matzah before saying Magid. So where's the market they break the matzah before Magid? So the Rebbe brings here Makdim Lipers Matzah Kedem Haggadah. That's the Ran B'Shem Reb Haigain. Now the MS says this Maramokim is also Luchor Tzarech Bir. We don't. Yeah, there's Gemara Psachim. Just there is Gemara Psachim. Just the Indian of breaking the matzah before the Haggadah is the brings Zachem V'Shidnei Rishonim. Kolbe I think brings it. The Rosh brings it. V'Shidnei Rishonim bring it, and they say different timing. V'Shidnei Sibis. Some of them say because you're saying Hey Lachma Anya. She's saying hey lachma anya, so that's why the lachma anya is dafke broken matzah. That's you have to break it before. Shidnei sibis. Those mekayres that bring that we break the matzah before magid. The kolbay, the Rosh brings it. The Rebbe doesn't bring those mekayres. The Rebbe brings the ran b'shem Reb Haigain. Now, what's the reason that's brought in the kolbay, which brings a tam? I think the kolbay says because you have to say hey lachma anya, like I mentioned before. That's not the tam the Alter Rebbe brings. The Alter Rebbe says the reason why we break the matzah before magid is because the Haggadah has to be nemeres ala matzah. The Gemara learns that the pasuk called the Torah calls matzah lechem eini, and one of the drashas Chazal is lechem she'einim alav dvarim harpi, but mizoktav them. And then learned in the Darshan Chacham that the mitzvah of the Haggadah is that it should be said. Sibur says it should be said on the matzah. But dugmas like you say kiddush on a kais. So you say the Zachar Shem Shabbos Zakashi, the mitzvah is to do it on a kais yaim. So al derech zeh, the mitzvah Haggadah has to be nemeres ala matzah. And there has to be a matzah, which that's you can be behind the mitzvah of achilas matzah. The mitzvah of achilas matzah, midrabanan, you yetze dafka with a matzah, which is a matzah prusa. That's a brach in the matzah. Because there's another part that says lechem eini without a vav. The ksiv is without a vav. There's some darshan from them that lechem ani al derech like an ani eats lechem. So ma ani darche be prusa, it doesn't have enough money to have a full matzah. So al derech zeh the matzah, the yetze, the mitzvah of achilas matzah should be a lechem matzah prusa. So Alter Rebbe says, since with these two drashas, since the Haggadah has to be nemeres ala matzah, was for a matzah which can be mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah, and that has to be a matzah prusa, but merely you have to break the matzah before the Haggadah. That time doesn't bring in any rishonim such a time. This is the Alter Rebbe writes in Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan steht nicht as that. The rishonim that bring it doesn't say in Gemara you have to break the matzah before. The rishonim which bring it, the Rosh doesn't bring b'chal a tam. And the kolbi which brings a tam, so the kolbi says you have to say hey lachma anya. Say hey lachma anya, so sagt this. But this Alter Rebbe's tam breaks in the rishonim before as a tam. It's getaysh. So I don't want to go into major pratim. I just want to show you. Look, the Ram doesn't bring this Alter Rebbe's tam. What does the Ram bring? B'shem Haigain. We'll see later a beer why this Marmakim is meduyik to what the beer in Alter Rebbe said. I'm just going to tell you what the Ram b'shem Haigain says. The Ram says, where is it? Oh, here. So the Ram brings brings. Oh, here. Because Rabbi Haggadah. Rabbi Haggadah Bechlal holds that there's no chiyuv to have a matzah prusa Pesach by night. As he halter. It's a reshus. Good. But then he says that he brings the Rabbi Haggadah. Rabbi Haggadah says that there's no chiyuv to have a matzah prusa, to have a broken matzah. Thus the Gemara darshan lechem eini, that from the fact that the kri is oni, so ma darki shel oni beprusa, the matzah should be a parus. That's a reshus. We can eichet yetzizem with a matzah prusa. It doesn't have to be dafka broken matzah. That's the halter Rabbi Haggadah. Good. So then he says the reshus itmar. He says aval the rank aval achshav noagu akei levarech ala prusa. Everybody's noig to nutzen dafka prusa. It means even though be'etzem said mitzvahs matzah, you don't need to use a prusa. Lepoel achshav noagu akei levarech ala prusa. Lepoel zet mizifir. Good. So what's Rabbi Haggadah saying? Be'etzem, not like Dal Rebbe. Dal Rebbe says the mitzvah achilas matzah midrabanan you're mekayim dafka with a matzah prusa, because the limud of darki shel oni since the kri is oni, not oni, so ma darki shel oni ala prusa. So there's a matzah. Dal Rebbe brings it as a chiyuv, midrabanan, not like the Rabbi Haggadah that it's a minig. The be'etzem is a reshus. You don't have to dafki use a matzah prusa. But then he said, good. But then he says, "Aval achshav nagu akel levarech ala prusa." Some bazal zagen hagan that be'etzem according to Rabbi Haggadah medarfers nicht. Lepel the minig is aber macht das hier dafka the prusa. Say the minig, and then he continues, "Ella shemakdim leferse kedem Haggadah." But the minig is am tzubrechtes before the Haggadah. Shemakdim leferse kedem Haggadah kedei shebeshas hamaytzim tzenek shi prusa. In order, since according to Rabbi Haggadah, the whole inyan of having a lechem prusa is not a chiyuv b'chlal, and theoretically, what given better to have two shleimis and not to have a prusa altogether. So but the prayer of the minig is a macht yed dafka for matzah prusa. Ella that you break it before magid, before Haggadah. Why? Kadesh v'shas ha'maitzi. Vetesh zayin parus. Vetesh zayin can problem that you shouldn't have a matzah. According to Rabbi Haggadah, there's a certain problem with having a matzah prusa v'shas lechem mishnah. So if you go and break it when you're ready to make a maitzi, it's a problem. But if you break it before, yamot is beseder. So he brings the etzem in that you're makdim the person kedem Haggadah shteita in the Ran b'shem Rabbi Haggadah, but not as a din, not as a inyan that we need the matzah prusa during the Haggadah. He brings the first for l'chora zayte gezach. She makdim the person kedem Haggadah. Kadei for why? She b'shas ha'maitzi vetesh in zayin paras. I'm saying look from all the mekeres that Saiva say the time here is not like Dal Rebbe's time. The time here that the Ran brings b'shem Rabbi Haggadah, why we're praying kedem Haggadah, is b'chal nara halacha according to the Ran. It's just only vermeiden a gewisse problem that there would be if it wouldn't be broken b'shas ha'maitz. So if the Rebbe is already quoting a rishon that's not masim Dal Rebbe's time, he could have quoted other rishonim that bring it as a din, not just as a what's the mile in quoting Kubi. The Rebbe is the first market, the first one that we find that Ametzutis is Rabbi Haggadah. So that's Kumazag Ati Pashas. There brings the first Rabbi Haggadah from the Goinim already. We see that there was a minute. The Rebbe is learning that this Ran is Rabbi Haggadah, but the whole Keta here is from Rabbi Haggadah. That means that the minhag mikad misbeno even Rabbi Haggadah's zman was leferes matzah. So Mele the Rebbe brings the makar achirish. That's Ken Zayin Api Pashas. But I'm saying we'll see that there's amtaka dafkin why the Rebbe brings this reason. I'm saying when get the mark. So I'm makdim leferes matzah kedem Haggadah. So Ken Zayin this was the minhag mikad was the no. Ran b'shem Rabbi Haggadah. Good. Now what's the reason? So the reason is this. So this reason, like I said before, mefurish is getayt in rishenim status nicht. I'm saying the ace touching for this reason the Alter Rebbe brings. But let's see what the Rebbe says here. The Haggadah has to be said on matzah, which is a kosher matzah, so to speak. Was lo yetes an idei mitzvah achilas matzah. Was for a matzah is haroi lotzes v'yidei basi. The hainu lechem oni prusa. Now, so das was steht im Psachim Kutes Vav? Psachim Kutes Vav steht dort in zwei Praten. Rebbe is mitzayin Kutes Vav Beis B'Sham. Means both Praten he says over there. First of all, the limud that lechem eini, the fact that it's with the Vav, so she'enim of dvarim harbi, that the Haggadah has to be in emeres alamatza, and that the etzim inyan they have to have the massive shas amiras Haggadah the shet in teisvis. Not all the Rishonim bring it. Teisvis is clear that the matzahs have to be there b'shas Haggadah because the Haggadah has to be in emeres alamatzas. Lechem she'enim of dvarim harbi. And the Gemara also says there that the limud of ma, that since it says aini without a vav, ma ani lechem ani, ma ani darke beprusa, af matzahs beprusa, the limud steht echt there. So, but of these two things, we understand that you have to break the matzah before the Haggadah. Yeah, this is it. I'm just saying, that means Gemara. I'm saying, Lepel, the Rishonim bring this nicht. And Legabi this Indian. The etzem Indian that Haggadah has been in Salam Asas Tesis bringt this. Steht Lechem Einam Ladvarim Harbi, but Lechem Einam Ladvarim Harbi, that I think Rabbi Chanan al teaches Einam Ladvarim Harbi, they have to say Matzah Shon Eichel Mashoma. It doesn't teach, have to say the Haggadah al Matzahs. The Gemara is Einam Ladvarim Harbi. What's that for? Doesn't say it's Prusa? No, Avada not. No, the Gemara is Prusa. The Rebbe, because the Gemara the Alter Rebbe teaches us this reason. This reason Alter Rebbe teaches us. The Rebbe doesn't bring the Alter Rebbe, brings the Mocker. The Gemara brings Gemara. These two limudim of Lechem Einish Einam Ladvarim Harbi and the limud of Ani Darki Prusa that does bring Zachinyan Gemara himself.
The Rebbe doesn't say here Einam Ladvarim Harbi.
He does. Haggadah tzarich al matzah. That's that in. Where's the market that Haggadah has to be said on the matzah? Because the lechem eini, the Gemara learned this in lechem eini that she'einim al dvarim harbi. And the Alter Rebbe have mezog to Haggadah of the matzah. That Tosfos says it. That einim al dvarim harbi means v'zach mezog. The Haggadah has to be the meres al matzahs.
According to the Ran, how does breaking the matzah help anything?
You have to know the sugi there of why. That's the presumptive parsha. Basically, according to Rabbi Goin, it's better if you don't have sisim, if you don't have a prusa, it's better to do lechem mishnah and two shleimus. If you go break something, it could be a problem according to Rabbi Goin.
Right.
Mele says break it in the beginning, so Mele as if we're not eating it, we're not making a mitzvah yet, we're doing the Haggadah. Then when it comes to mitzvah, you already have a prusa, and there you're going to be able to. You'll farmaiden a certain problem. You have to know that in.
100 matzahs in the box.
That's in the parsha. That's a separate parsha. Just wanted to bring God at the time.
Yeah.
Was nicht verstanden?
Ich sage nicht, dass das Einen in der Stief Haggadah.
Welche Einen? Der Rebbe means that Haggadah tzarich liyis. Wo der Makar them that Haggadah gesagt
hat? Says the whole paragraph.
Wo der Makar that Haggadah tzarich liyis am matzah rila? Wo der Makar them? That Haggadah has to be said am matzah. Wo steht es?
So the Rebbe says, give him Pesachim to do.
Dort der Limud lechem she'enim al dvarim harbi. Das der Limud. Das steht dort in der Gemara. Steht es in der Gemara matzah tzarich Haggadah tzarich liyis.
But the fact that Rebbe touches over here Prusa, that puts a dash with Prusa.
Yeah.
This is what do you say?
Steht nicht drin.
A different thing besides for that.
The Gemara, who said that the matzah rasa halasa the chavasa is dafke the prusa? Any matzah. Dafke a broken matzah mekayim mitzvahs matzah? Who steht das? The pasuk says you have to eat matzahs. Be'erev teichel matzahs. Who steht das?
The Rebbe should put the maramokim before the hainu.
Welchem maramokim? So the Rebbe is. But it's both pratim, both memris are in that Gemara. In one Gemara, one after another, there's two memris. One memri is lechem einish edom advarim harbe. Another memri is ma'ani darke v'prusa. So the Rebbe brings them into. Let me again first in the diukim, these diukim. We'll see the clause of the I'm saying there's things you have to understand before the diukim. That's it. Oh, so that's the answer. So that's the Rebbe Matzah given for Avos Medaf Tzobrechen der Matzah before the Haggadah, right? Makdim lefersh takedem. Why? Because the Haggadah has to be the Meres Matzahs. And which matzah? Matzah re'elas the which is dafke the broken matzah. Good. Now the Rebbe says like this. Now which matzah? Why don't you break the first matzah? Why don't you break the first matzah? And l'chore, this is not always getach, but l'chore there would be a bechlau, and anytime you do a mitzvah, the halacha is that you shouldn't go skip. So if you want to do a mitzvah, you're going to go. You have a matzah here and a matzah here. You're going to do a matzah. You're going to do a mitzvah now. Let's say, or a minute. This is on the zayin. According to Alter, it's an inyan alpidin that the matzah should be a matzah prusa for the sake of mitzvah haggadah. There's an inyan not to skip to go to the next matzah. The first chayvus that you find, do the mitzvah as soon as possible. Not to go to the other one. So the Rebbe's matzah here, tzricha shetiyeh ben beis matzahs hashleimus. The matzah prusa has to be between the two matzah shleimus. Remember, matzah is never was. It has to be between. It means it has to be. It can't be the first matzah. It has to be the second matzah. The marker that the matzah prusa is under the first matzah. The stating more in brachas lachlam testament base. Before I'm not going into the diukim yet. So that was some medayis. I don't want to go for the bar. So das for the matzah prusa is under the matzah yayina, under the matzah that the shlema has to be the one on top. The stating more in brachas lachlam testament base. Nothing that it's not speaking about yachas. There's a that's dirt and retzach that Pesach by night you should have a prusa when you say amitzi. But I'm saying the Gemara over there says that Pesach by night you should have a prusa when you say Amaitzi, and there it says that the prusa should be Bein Beis Hashleimus. This is the Gemara. What the Rebbe is. Not why? Why take? Does the shit take Gemara if I was take? So the Rebbe touches because the birchas Amaitzi shegedemes the birchas alachilas matzah yal Hashleim, because first you have to make Amaitzi. Amaitzi comes before matzah because tader v'sheini tader kedem on eich nach time, but birchas Amaitzi has to be before making the bracha alachilas matzah. The brachas hameitzi make dafka on the matzah shleima, not on a matzah prusa. So what's the other thing of the pashtus? If you're going to come to make, if you're going to break the first matzah, and then you're going to come to meitzi matzah, you're going to want to be mekayim meitzi matzah. That's the second hameitzi for you. And you say hameitzi, and hameitzi has to be said on the matzah shleima. So you have to, hamaitzi has to be first. So if you're going to say hamaitzi, if you're going to break the top matzah, when you're going to say hamaitzi, you're going to have to take the shleima and put it on top of the prusa. So you're going to have to move away the matzah prusa. And that's a problem. It says, in order not to move away, in order not to have to take the top prusa and put the Elyena on top, so the Elyena, which that you're going to make the first mitzvah with, has to be closest to you.
So the Rebbe doesn't look at the saying Haggadah on the prusa. The Rebbe doesn't look at it as a din.
Why is not a din?
Because that comes before the hamitzvah.
Good. The prusa, that's a din, but why do you have to break the top one? You have to have matzah prusa there.
Yeah, but if you do
it's not a mitzvah to break the matzah.
It's a din.
It's a din, good. So then.
So it's a din, maybe not a mitzvah. So if there's a mitzvah, there's a din. The Rebbe is saying it's two animals.
Mitzvah Sibur system has to be said on the matzah prusa. Zu brechen is kein mitzvah.
Ich verstehe, aber zu brechen, ich habe zu brechen eine Matzah, das.
Zu brechen eine Matzah, why does it have to be on top?
Was der erste Tag tut.
Ich verstehe, aber das ist nicht kein Mitzvah, was das ist. Ich habe gewähnt ein Mitzvah, was du gewähnt gerecht. Das ist nicht kein Mitzvah. It's preparing, it's a din.
Ist der Wort, das der Rebbe sagt, ist da ein Mitzvah von einer Mitzvah verschleimen.
So sein es. I don't know if that's the Rebbe is saying is that when you come to Meitzi Matzah, if the prusa is going to be on top, you're going to have a problem. If you're going to break the top matzah, when you're going to come to be mekayim the mitzvah of Meitzi Matzah, the prusa on top is going to cause a problem. You're going to have to be maiver, you're going to have to take the prusa, put it on the bottom, because you have to make hamaitzi on the top matzah, on the shleima. So and the shleimas have to be on top.
The hamaitzi is more important than saying...
Than breaking the top, yeah, that's for sure.
Not than saying the Haggadah on the broken matzah.
No, because that's not a get to you breaking it now. You're doing now mitzvah breaking it. Why should you do it on the top matzah? It's not a mitzvah to break it. It has to be broken. It doesn't have to be on top. Why does it have to be on top? Mitzad Haggadah la prusa doesn't have to be on top. Mitzad that it has to be broken.
Why don't we just break it and put it in the middle?
We do break it and put it in the middle.
I'm saying you take the top, you break it, and put it in the middle.
Why don't you take the top, break it, and then put it in the middle?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you take the top, break it, and then put it in the middle?
So I'm saying, Christ, you're taking out the middle to break it.
Okay, apidin takal b'stama, there's no problem apidin to do it the way you're saying it. But I'm saying since the Rebbe is saying it here, the way according to our minhag, so there's a diuk tafka to have three matzahs. And one of them is a Yisrael, a Levi, a Kain. I'm saying, Lepayel, the Sidra Kaira is also a diuk that you do it al pi minhag. So the Chatchila Masada the Kaira in a way that it should be behesim to what you're doing with these matzahs. We'll see. I mean, Medzendas their prat will be verstandig better according to Chos Mazbuzain. This prat is going to be verstandig better. Verstehen Sie, was die Schwierigkeit? Gut. Chos Mazbuzain, I'll be Mazbuzain.
It's much with the Satir Zachas. So, what's the problem? What's the problem? Why is the Rebbe addressing the fact?
Why do you break the middle matzah?
Yeah. Why is the Rebbe addressing? What's the problem? Break the middle matzah. What's the problem?
Break the.
Why should we break the top matzah?
Why the? First of all, the Rebbe says dafke the middle. Why dafke the middle? Why dafke the middle? The Rebbe says yikach matzah hem tzois, v'yakot maniach bein beis hamatzos. Why dafke the matzah hem tzois? And why dafke maniach bein hamatzos? So the Rebbe is masber, because if you're going to break the top matzah, when you come to hamaitzi, you're going to have to be maiver ala mitzvahs. So metarnish maiver ala mitzvahs. That's what the Rebbe is saying. Good. This now, I want you should just know this prat. The Rebbe brings chos mazvos, and the things are going to become clear. I just want to go to the pashta dvarim. You should understand what we're dealing with. Now this key, the Rebbe says like this: Ki birchas hamitzvah shehi kedemes birchas al chilas matzah hi ala shleima. And b'meile the shleima has to be on top, because hamaitzi, which is number one, has to be on top. Now, Tesis de Raschel, where's the market that Amayis is going on the Shleima? It means Tesis de Raschel Hakel Sham. That's in Brachas. Tesis in Brachas. And in other words, there's a machlekes. Tesis shitta is that Amayis is on the Shleima, and that's the Ikra din is like Tesis, like this shitta. So Rabbeinu Simint of and Hesiv Zayin, the author says twice that the Ikr psak is that Amayis is on the Shleima. Okay, we'll get back to this. Now I want to show you another piece. And let's go to Meitzi Matzah for a second. So you'll see the Nachat and Zandi Teisvis in there. So what's the market that Rebbe brings here that the Hamaitzi is on the Shleim? Where's the market? The market is Teisvis de Baraschal Hakel Sham in Brachas Lametesim Place. That's the market, yeah? Mm-hmm. Now, here the Rebbe brings Meitzi, right? After we skip the whole Magid, and now there comes Rochza is the Vert Meitzi. Was Meitzi? The Rebbe says in the Siddur, V'ikach hamatzis keseder sheinicha, as even was weggelegt, ha prusa ben shtei hashlemis, should take them, V'yechzim biyodei v'yivarich. You should make emes lechem min haaretz. That's what he says. Legabi maitzi. What does it say by matzah? V'lo yiftzamen eli v'lo yiftzamen. You shouldn't break. Even after you said maitzi lechem min haaretz, you shouldn't be beitzeya. You shouldn't break them, any of them. But the third matzah, which you're holding it till now, you should let it drop out of your hand. V'yivarich ala prusa im hol yena terem yishabrim brachazu. Before you break any of them, before you make any b'tzia, you should make the bracha lechilas matzah. Yeah, that's in the Galilee. So nachman, that's in the Galilee. What's like the Alter Rebbe? You take the matzahs the way they are, the sudar and the kaira. A yena, a shlema, and a prusa in the middle. You hold them in your hand. You make a bracha mitzvah lechem min haaretz. You don't break them yet, none of them. Leave the third matzah down. You're holding still the top two, one broken, one full. Before you break them, Alter Rebbe says again twice. Before you terem yishabrim, you make the bracha lechilas matzah. As steht da. Yeah. Oh, so the Rebbe's matzah, the Rebbe's mevar though. What's the? We could just go through this. We're already learning. We'll see maitzi matzah. See, the Rebbe brings maitzi v'acharkach matzah. Why? Because tad b'shein and tad kedim. That's what the Gemara they got birchas hayayim. Achalik b'sham b'silo, but they got birchas hayayin and birchas hayayim. So we say hagafen before we say kiddush. Why? Because tad b'shein and tad kedim. Hayayin to say birchas hayayin. That's a tad. Every time birchas hayayin, every time you eat, you drink, you have to make a bracha. Mashik and birchas kiddush is any tad. Gemara v'nachatan. There also the Gemara is in brachas. The Gemara is tvei time. Also that mi geirim according to Basilil, the reason why you make yayin before is because the only way the kiddush could be said since Chacham or Masakan the kiddush has to be done al yayin. So without the yayin you can't make kiddush because the kiddush has to be done al yayin. So merely you have to give yayin the kedima. So merely you make a gafen before. So the Rebbe Alderas brings here also a tam neisa. But neisa to the tam tadur shein to tadur kedim. Punkt is a bit dark. The Gemara brings two reasons why the yayin comes before kiddush. Alderas here I'm saying this can sein. Another reason why the hamaitzi should be before matzah because urcha the milsa lebrucha lekuchabrichu the afik lachem and arav hod lebrucha matzah is having minah. Means matzah is a shvach in lechem. First there's the basic mitzias of dagon of mitzvah lechem and then there's a davar miyuchad. So that's a tam neis of al derech like by kiddush. Good. So that's the matzah why mitzvah comes before matzah. Then look in the Rebbe's matzah like this. This is a richasim neget the matzah. Oh, now haprusa ben shtei ashleimis. Lamer zen von dort. So the Rebbe says that you should take the three matzahs exactly the way they put them in the kaira, that the broken one should be in between the two shleims. Why do you have to take all three? Yeah, that's Rebbe coming to me over. Why do you have to take all three? So the Rebbe brings here ki kamei b'chol yomtiv chayiv liftzei lechem mishneh. Yeah, it's machlek zeshen. Machlek zeshen if you need lechem mishneh every yomtiv, but the Rebbe hasn't. The Rebbe is bringing Shlomo actually, but the Rebbe brings in other places. But Shlomo the mechaber. And the Tur and all the Sashad, the Rebbe reflect that's Arachim. Why the Alter Rebbe doesn't bring this din? They got Yom in Hilchas Yom steht nicht. They have to have Lechem Mishneh. Shabbos, so that's Machlek Zeshenim really. The Midrashim, but the Lepoil, the Halacha isn't Shchon Aruch the Mechaber that also Yom Tiv darf have Lechem Mishneh. Punkt is Shabbos for a mitzvah Lechem Mishneh. There's a mitzvah Yom Tiv to have Lechem Mishneh. Chiyuv to have Lechem Mishneh. So al der sich Pesach von ich haben Lechem Mishneh. Now, Drashas Razal Shebe Pesach. What's the bet? And this is machlek zeshenim, but the Rebbe is not bringing the two shittas. We have a mitzvah of lechem mishnah. The Gemara says lechem eini. The fact that Torah writes it without a vav means lechem shel oni. From dort learned in the race ma oni darke beprusa. So there's a Pesach darke beprusa. So some Rishonim say that this limud ma'oni darke prusa af Pesach af matzah darke prusa you should have a prusa. Some Rishonim learned that it means that it's halacha in lechem mishneh. That usually if it would be regular yontav from hamen tzvei shleimin kum der limud ma'oni darke prusa that you shouldn't have two shleimin. It should be one prusa. And that's the moving up in parshas. What's the we learn ma darke the same way you only eat you should eat Pesach banai. So what's the oni's bits when he makes a maitzi, he makes a maitzi on a prusa. He makes a maitzi on a prusa. Not his kevei has suda l'chatchila on a prusa. So al derech zeh Pesach b'nai the maitzi. You should be kevei your suda on a prusa. So the lechem mishnah has to be instead of full shleimim one prusa. This is ein shira. Tzvei shidei faran. That's what the Rebbe brings here that the limud ma darki shel oni b'prusa is not a limud that's being magbal the two matzes. So nachazach. But since we have to be mizdamet on oni Pesach by nacht. Darfin sai v'sai had to have lechem shmishna as if we are regular yomtiv. And b'neisel lezeh we have to make a izdamus to the oni. Darfin homen suder tzu also a meitze and a matzah prusa. Tzvei zach. So man, this is the Rebbe. The Rebbe is being over here. Why you have to have three matzahs? What's that from drei? Because you have to have shleimus mishum lechem mishnah. But then there's also a limud that the Gemara that has a chfirin v'an ani Pesach Banach. What is that limud? That you should make a maitzi on that you should make a maitzi on a prusa. But mainly also has to be a prusa. Mitzad this din of a maitzi of lifts. You have to be pitzeh on the prusa also. Rosh is Rizal Shel Pesach Meisav Alim Eid Matzah Prusa Mishum Lechem Eini. It means Rosh Mordechai Shchonorach Az Muzang Tafai Siv Gimel. These materials are also b'diuk, but I don't want to go on a zayt. But I just want to bring out this point that there's Zayn Klor. When the Alter Rebbe Shchonorach comes out, this is the way it seems like we'll see later pratim in this. The Gemara brings a limud. Lechem Oni, on Avav, Ma Oni Darki B'Prusa, let me see the Lashon, we have just let me see Af, Ma Oni Darki B'Prusa, Af, what's the Lashon of the Gemara? Oh, I have it here. Af, Ma'ani Darki B'Prusa, Afkan B'Prusa, that's the Gemara's Lashon. Ma'ani B'Prusa, Afkan B'Prusa. The Poyo, the Alter Rebbe takes out from this, based on the Rishonim. I'm saying it's not. There's nisuach. You don't have this in the Rishonim. The Alter Rebbe takes out two separate halachas from this Gemara. That ma'oni darki beprusa, afkan beprusa. One halacha in mitzvah achilas matzah. There's a mitzvah be'erev teichel matzahs. On the limit what gesagt. If Pasuk wouldn't have called matzahs lechem eini, what gesagt? That matzah you have to make kaim with whatever matzahs. Matzahs kemach u'mayim. From lechem eini, learn necharei is that the matzah also has to be a prusa. We're not, one of the things we learn now that have made payers in the matzah. Why? Because it has to be eini. Can't be a matzah shira. So that's the halacha in the chefza. What's for a matzah is yetze the mitzvah v'chilas matzah. It has to be lechem which has no tam. You know from lechem eini. A lechem nachadin that it has to be lechem matzah which is broken. Matzah prusa has to be broken matzah. That's one din. That's a din that we learn from lechem eini darke shalani b'prusa from mitzvah v'chilas matzah. Ein halacha. Derech for a zweite halacha. This is the way the Alter Rebbe brings it. That we have a mitzvah of making a maitzi, Pesach and Yom Tov. Nothing with Pesach, Yom Tov, Shabbos. Yeah, there's a mitzvah of making a maitzi, being bitzei ala pas. And there's a chiyuv to have lechem mishnah. There's a chazeicha leman, whatever the biurim is. But there's a chiyuv to make a maitzi on lechem mishnah, Shabbos and Yom Tov. Pesach is echta Yom Tov. There's a chiyuv, there's a chiyuv to make a maitzi on two lechem Pesach and Yom. Nothing to do with mitzvah achilas matzah. And this limud of the Gemara of Ma'ani Darka Prusa Af Kan Beprusa is a limud how to be mekayim the mitzvah of lechem mishnah of saying hamaitzi Pesach night. It's a separate limud, it's a separate din. Same name in the Gemara. The Gemara calls lechem eini lechem ani. It's not zwei pratim. It's not dinim deiraisa. It's not mamish dinim deiraisa. The Alter Rebbe is drashas chachamim. Lepel comes out two dinim. The Alter Rebbe brings it. The Alter Rebbe brings it is you look in Shulchan Aruch. I'm saying we could trace it back to the Shenim. This is clear in the Alter Rebbe that there's no kaim l'shayla. Just in Taf, where is he? First he brings out Mashal Taf and Gimel when he says to do yachatz before Magid. So the Alter Rebbe says, he brings yachatz. Where does he bring it? Where does he bring yachatz? In Taf and Gimel somewhere. He says that you break the. What does then? You take the middle matzah, liftzei miktsasa. Yeah. Why? So the Alter Rebbe says you put them. Why? Lefisha tzarich leimar Haggadah matzah roi losas v'yidechi vasi. Shneimar teichol alav matzis lechem eini. So the fact that we call the lechem eini darshach chacham she'enim oladvarim harbi. You have to say that Haggadah matzah. Umiteich shneimar lechem eini chaser vav darshach chachamim ma'ani darki beprusa ma darki shalani beprusa afkan beprusa shamatzah sheyetze by how did the Rebbe touch limud shamatzah sheyetze by yidechi vasi the matzah that you're making this matzah leiti yeshleim el prusa. So we learned raise from them that the matzah that you're making mitzvah should be a matzah prusa. Then there's looking tough in here same limud the Alter Rebbe says a different word in answer. When the Alter Rebbe brings this halacha of meitzi matzah, the Alter Rebbe says who does Siv Gimel. It says Ave Pishu B'chol Yom Tov. You have to be B'tzei on Lechem Mishnah. Kommissar says Mishnah Bar Sim Taf B'chotes, but the Alter doesn't bring in Taf B'chotes. But the Alter says B'chol Yom Tov Daf Ma'achal Lechem Mishnah. The Alter brings the decision Taf B'chotes. You have to make Lechem Mishnah. Doesn't say it. It's nicht der erste Tzarech it's nicht the letzte. That's not Tzarech. But this is B'chol Yom Tov Chayv Adam B'tzei on Lechem Mishnah. The Rebbe brings this in the Sechel Shayv. Shebachol Yom Tov Chayav Adam Leftzei Lechem Mishnah Mitzvah Sim Tov Kuchtes. So what's the Alter speaking about over here? The mitzvah, the chiyuv of Lechem Mishnah. Chol Yom Tov Chayav Adam Leftzei. What Leftzei means, you have to say a maitzi on two lechamim. man darf nehmen a Stickel von zwei. You don't have to, for the Rashba, you have to take a piece of each one of the two lecham. The halacha, you have to take, you have to be betzeya, that schneiden a Stickel from one of the two. But it's considered you're being betzeya from both. Because it's one, zwei, you have two rolls that you're eating from. Lepa, you're taking a piece of one, but so, b'choy yadav chayiv ha'adam liftzaya alechem mishne. You have to make a maitzi, or nemen, on betzeya zay, nemen a Stickel from two lecham. Mikoma ken beleil Pesach, so I'll tell you a machlekes. Yes, Emrim, that you only need 1.5. Why? Lefi shemashe darshu chachamim, mashe kosav lechem eni chaser vav. Shedhei amatza prusa kedarka shel ani leidarshu ela legreya melechem mishna. Where's that say? The ganze drasha the chachamim darshan that has to be madarka shel ani prusa. The drasha was legareya lechem mishna. What does it do with lechem mishna? The Alter Rebbe before this limud is a drasha to mitzvahs matzah. Was falt da rein lechem mishna? So the Alter Rebbe is learning that this limud that you should. The lechem should be kedarka shel ani is not only a limud legabe the cheptz of the matzah, it's also a limud in how you make a maitzi that night.
So why don't you just say 1.5 matzah? Why do you need
No,
1.5?
Because they hold that you have to have one full and one half. It's not totally negarel. It's not totally. So you make a maitzi and a half.
The limud is how you make a maitzi is lechem.
Yeah.
If that's a limud, then lechem is half.
But it's not seiser lechem mishna. It's
already it's being seiser.
Why is it being seiser? Lechem mishna is not that to shleim.
Oh, it's not too
Not necessarily, no.
So what is it?
Not necessarily.
Just two pieces?
Two pieces.
So like...
It's not so pashut. It's not so pashut. Lechem mishna.
It has to be a half and a quarter.
Alter Rebbe's mashma shchanor in the chashav. It has to be two shleim. But this is the first shitta.
Does that have to be shown?
So that's a shitta, yeah.
Okay, well.
I think the Alter Rebbe sagt nicht das.
Oh, okay. What about burning the edge of the matzah? That's good.
Ich weiß nicht, this part I don't know. No, we're not. The Alter Rebbe says it has to be shleim, but I'm saying there are some. That's b'diavad. Good. We're going to get lost a bit. I want to bring out this point. I just want to bring us from here. What we see from here is one point that the limud of mad actual and beprusa, according to Alter Rebbe, is another prat. Not only the halacha that the matzah has to be a broken matzah. There's a din and darf sich setzen essen Pesach banach. Darf machen hamaitzi Pesach banach. And same way an ani makes a maitzi and a broken bread, we have to make a maitzi and a broken matzah. It's a din of matzah. And Mela Samish the Rif holds that this limud is ba. Usually you have two lachamim you don't have to be poor, do a remnant on ani how that part of your amatah should be a broken bread. And according to that shit, it has to be megarezen from regular night. We don't pass like that shit. But even according to this shit, so this limit has nothing to do with lechem mishna. So it's lechem mishna. Shleidash el lahis lechem mishna. Shemavad beis matzah shleimas. Means you should have a remnant stand on it. Besides that, you have two shleimas. So it's the matzah prusa. But Kaplan, what's the Charis bringing from that you have two different dinim. One din lechem is that you should make lechem mishna should be done ala prusa. And that's zweite that the matzah they write. That's what the chavas is not lechem. If you want to use just a little Lamdisha language, there's one limud of lechem eini is in the chefts of the mitzvah that has to be matzah, which is prusa. Another halacha is that the lechem mishna has to be al derech ani. The achilas the person has to firzach v'an ani pesach anayt.
Okay.
It's Allah and Lechem Mishna. Without going into the Haggadah, but the Rebbe says it's Allah and Lechem Mishna. It's not the Haggadah, the punkt Haggadah. So just the go for the bar. Lepel it's Allah and Lechem Mishna. It's not a din in the cheptza of matzah. It's Allah and make it. There's a din that a person has to. It's not a chiv of the cheptza b'chlal. A person has to make hamaitzi on matzah's Pesach night via the Yom Tiv. That hamaitzi has to be done on a prusa. Has to be like an ani does hamaitzi. Punkt zevi an ani does hamaitzi on a prusa. You have to do hamaitzi on a prusa. So it's Allah and Lechem Mishna. Making hamaitzi on a prusa. Oh, so what do I want to bring us from this? How did I get into this? So the Rebbe is like this. So this is what the Rebbe is. Someone said the Rebbe is saying haprusim and shtei ashleimis. The Rebbe is being mevayer here. Why do you have to hold all three? Why do you have to hold all three? So the Rebbe is mazvik because kumei b'chol the Allah passing like the second shitta. Ki kumei b'chol yomtiv. You have to be b'tzelach. You have to say hamaitzi on lechem mishna. Drashas razal b'pesach. They have to have prusa. Is meisif alein eid matzah. It's meisif means it's an additional matzah in the chiv of lechem mishna. So b'shas lechem mishna you need to have all three. So what's Rebbe is being mevar in this part? That b'shas you make hamaitzi. The Rebbe is explaining here why by Hamaitzi. Shas, you make Hamaitzi, you have to hold all three matzahs, because you need Lechem Mishnah for the sake of Lechem Mishnah, and you need to have the additional Prusa, which is a Hisafa in the midst of Lechem Mishnah, Pesach Vanay. Tafnoma Drei matzahs. Yeah. Just brought him. I don't want to Rosh Mordechai Shulchan. This is exactly what the Rebbe brings the Rosh Mordechai, but this is the Nekuda I'm trying to bring out. That has to be clear. Now, so the Rebbe explains just now here. The Rebbe is being matzah here why the regular din of Lechem Mishnah, Pesach by night, which is a din in Hamaitzi, not the Chilas matzah. You have to hold all three matzahs. That's the clear. Danach v'yechzim b'yadei v'yivarech. I think here Rabbi Shachat is I think it's Pashut Pshat. He says that he learned that the Rebbe is explaining here v'yechzim b'yadei v'yivarech, that the Rebbe is explaining why by Hamaitzi you have to hold the matzahs. Because v'yechzim b'yadei v'yivarech is on the Dal Rebbe Siddur and Hamaitzi. This lashon v'yechzim b'yadei v'yivarech is under Hamaitzi. So I had to learn that this whole keta that Rebbe is coming to explain also why you hold the matzahs b'shas Hamaitzi.
The Rebbe is coming, or the Rebbe is coming?
The Rebbe in the Siddur, this Piska, the Rebbe is being mevayer. Ki kol davar. The next shtickle, the Rebbe is coming to explain why you hold b'shas Hamaitzi, the three matzahs. The Mele has miskasha different kashas and he has different chidushim.
Well, like you already explained it on the first piece.
That's not me, that's the pshat. But Frek has a goal all on this and this. But I'm just telling you, why did he? Here's the other Vivarech is Alter Rebbe is being maitik. Alter Rebbe is lashon from Hamaitzi, nicht masber from Matzah. So, but this V'yezim B'yadei V'yivarech, the Rebbe is being masber the whole hemshich. The Rebbe is being masber V'yezim B'yadei V'yivarech. There's one thing is Mitzad Lechem Mishnah. That's the masber the Erste Keta. Then the Alter Rebbe says V'yezim B'yadei V'yivarech, and the Alter Rebbe says until after Chilas Matzah. This achiz b'yad. Until when do you hold it? Until after Chilas Matzah. Then you're mashmit the Matzah Gimel. So the Rebbe is explaining here why Yerzim the two matzahs by a Maitzi Matzah. This is not a beer only on the pisk of Maitzi. This Rebbe is being mevayer the Yerzim biyad a sai legabe a Maitzi, sai legabe Matzah. Beide Sachen. So the Rebbe is being mazer why by Matzah we hold it two, because the Rebbe only says by Matzah that you're maniach. The Rebbe hat gesagt wie zu führen Sach sai by Maitzi sai by Matzah in the ket of Maitzi. The Rebbe explains wie zu führen Sach till after Achilas Matzah. Yerzim biyad. The Rebbe just says by Matzah. You shouldn't do this. Don't break it. Don't do this. Don't do that. Leave go of the third. But the fact you have to hold the first two, that Alter Rebbe says in the first keta. So the Rebbe is coming to explain, not the being masber again, why you hold maitzi. The Rebbe is coming to explain why yechzim biyadei by maitzi and by matzah. Beide pratim. This for entert the chashaya. I'll show you. Read it. It's become a chidushim, but that's Pashut Pshat. This is Pashut Pshat. I'm saying this is no two ways about it. This is what the pshat is. I'll just explain to you. This is not a big thing, but so the Rebbe Tamaz was saying. What's Alter Rebbe saying? The Rebbe Shemaz Regavem said Lechem Mishnah, you have to hold all three. So Lechem Mishnah is an Haggadah. You know how to do Lechem Mishnah every Yom Tov by night. He's not discussing that. It's an Haggadah. Then if he has them Yad V'yivarech. Now the Alter Rebbe's lashon. Why do you have so? The Rebbe's Mimaz both brach. Sai Hamaitzi and Sai Matzah. What's happened? This halten in hand. So Legabi Be'etzem Legabi Lechem Mishnah. Where every Shabbos we know that we hold it in our hands. Steht the Lechem Mishnah is the Indian is all halten in hand. But the Rebbe is explaining here not only Lechem Mishnah, he's also explaining here in Mitzvah Achilas Matzah. Why do you have to? Why do you have to hold it when you say the Bracha Achilas Matzah? So the Rebbe brings ki kol davar shemavarech alav la'achle tzarich la'achze b'minik shum mavarech. But jeder Sache, was der Mensch macht, der Bracha, darf es a Bracha zu essen. Sai Maitzi is this that time that works. That Rebbe's lashon is also biyadi in one hand. Mitzad Lechem Mishnah is in it all with two hands. But the Rebbe is being master, so the Rebbe doesn't bring he asked one of the questions the Shachat asked, why doesn't the Rebbe bring the din that you should be teifus in the lechem b'shas you make the bracha? That means the din like Lechem Mishnah. But the Rebbe is not discussing here only. The Rebbe is being master both pratim. Sai Maitzi, Sai Maitzi. The Rebbe is bring the time that works for both. And Lechem Mishnah is not that freer. He's not discussing now the chiyuv of Lechem Mishnah. So this is ki kol davar shemavarech alav la'achle tzarich la'achze b'minik shum mavarech.
That's a beautiful matzah.
Also for matzah, for both. The Gabi Maitzi is a din neisev was darf es halten. But lepoil we don't hold it in our right hand mitzad Maitzi. We hold it. But the Alter Rebbe said Shulchan Aruch, even though be'etzem Lechem Mishnah also gedacht haben the rechte hand, lepoil hold it with two hands. You should have Eseretz boys. There's reasons. But the Rebbe is not. But the shaila is if the Rebbe isn't explain Maitzi itself. So the Rebbe maybe should have brought the minig was a halten beide hand. You should have brought Alter Rebbe's din in Shulchan Aruch by Lechem Mishnah. You hold it in your right hand. Why does he bring the din in Simon Reish Vav? The Bechlam macht the bracha essen. You should hold it in your right hand. Because the Rebbe is not only being masber here. Why by Maitzi you hold the matzah? Also, why by Achilas Matzah they have to hold the matzah?
You're saying, and something that you're doing in mitzvah, you're not doing a chilul with it. You don't have to hold your hand.
Not necessarily. There's a separate din that Beyad Yamin. something you do a mitzvah, what's a dugma? If you do a mitzvah with something, state you still there's noch shail over there. If you say the bracha, you're supposed to say the bracha before you pick up the lulav. Because since the mitzvah is in the tila, under the halton they should say the bracha with edem and emptis because you be over las yasa. No, but that's other reasons. But the bracha has to be by lulav has to be done before. There's no dinner before you should hold the lulav. You have the min before the bracha. We do the bracha. I think the way the Val does, you do the bracha. You say the bracha before you take the lulav. They hold it upside down. Good. Kaplan, so there's nothing to do with.
Oh, you're upside down?
No, not upside down.
Our minhag is to say the bracha b'shas halakicha. It's not the din the Rebbe is saying here. Here you're doing the mitzvah is the achila. The bracha you're saying before. The Rebbe is saying is a separate din. Machta bracha that which has to do with achila. You should hold it in your right hand. Why should they say? Why doesn't the Rebbe bring the mitzvah?
I'm trying to understand that. Really, you don't have to hold the hand. That's a chiddush. After when you eat it.
I'm telling you, I don't say because it doesn't say Shulchan Aruch. If you was manches in addition, steht Shulchan Aruch. Hey, call Pam Sha'adam Esim Shalach Zachetz Shemitzvah Yad Min steht Shazazach. There's no such a thing. Yeah, you hold your people will block their too. You hold your tefillin with your right hand and you make a bracha.
So where is this thing comes by matzah that you shouldn't hold it in your right hand? So this is only mitzvah achila, or is it also mitzvah mitzvah?
No, mitzvah a bracha and achila. Bracha and achila you should hold it.
The Rebbe said
Simen Israel, das steht dort. Ich habe nur gewollt mevaris in der Prat, der Scheidung nicht geschafft. But you'll see later, it's clear that the Rebbe read wegen Sam Mitzvah. Now, so why do you have to hold both? This Prat, just remember the question before. So we can. Why do you have to hold both? So the Churvat Gadav Zanazeh. You have two matzahs. The Rebbe read wegen the third matzah by Birchas Chalas matzah, you're mashing the third. The Rebbe read that beer on the achiza, which works for both. Why you have to hold side the first and side the second? The Shleima and the Prusa. Why do you have to hold the Shleima and the Prusa the whole time? First half and the ganze Zeit. If you're making a Meitzi on the Shleima, mach a Meitzi, and then put the Shleima away and hold the Prusa and make a Meitzi and make a Lechilas Matzah. You make a Bracha Lechilas Matzah, the Hat Nachat the Prusa, the Shleima. If the Meitzi is on, if the Lechilas Matzah on the Prusa, so leave the Matzah go and hold the Prusa. And if the Meitzi is on the Prusa and Fakert, so B'shas HaMeitzi hold one, and B'shas Prusa hold and B'shas Matzah. So there's Matzah because there's Machlekes. V'kan yesh Eimrin the Birchas HaMeitzi hi ala Shleima. And the Achilas Matzah is ala Prusa. Rashi, Rashbam, Ri, Rosh, the Psochim Kuf Zayin Amid Aleph, V'chein Yikuf. Yeah, we'll see that in a second. V'yesh Eimrim leheipech. Andere sagen that the Achilas Matzah is dafka on the Shleima, and the Meitzi is dafka on the Prusa. Samag, Ravan, Teisvis, Shargeinim. So what's the name? Eche Shtein Biyadeh. He makes the people that the Rebbe says Eche Shtein Biyadeh, but his Chor is being Mevar Matzah, Meitzi, which is all three. Redt is wegen dem. I'm saying it's not a Come on, but this is that's even Chadish, Machlekes, that Rebbe in the Siddur, Shulchan Aruch, that Rebbe is this ganze Meitzi. But this is not, this is a Pash Pshat. But, what's the Gavot sagen? So here, where does the Rebbe bring the first Yeshem? What's the bringing the first Yeshem? The Birchas HaMeitzi hi ala Shleima, Birchas HaChilas Matzah ala Prusa. Right? This, the Rebbe brought it like a Yachatz. Right? The Rebbe brought it like a Yachatz. Why do we have to break the middle Matzah? Because HaMeitzi is al HaShleima, and the Chilas Matzah is on the Prusa. But the Mekeres, the Rebbe brings different Mekeres. There the Rebbe brings the fact that they look back by Yachatz. The Rebbe brings... why? Where's the marker? Taisis diber maschal akel in brachas. When the Rebbe brings why by that the shit that the Meitzi comes before matzah, he brings other makeres, the Rashi and Psachim, the Rashbam, the Ri, the Rosh. Why doesn't he bring Taisis diber maschal like he brought in brachas? And if I was the makeres, does it bring to the Nishdar?
Can you say that the Achilas Matzah ala Prusa is also makabel that? I don't look at them kids.
Dort steht echt. Die ene Teis in Brachis, the Teis of the Raschal HaKel Sham, steht before it, Birchas HaMeitzi is on the Shleima and the Matzah is on the Prusa. You need that. If not, if the Matzah is also on the Shleima, hätte verstanden, der ganze Din dort ist also zu brechen. Eben jene Shitta, also warte, jene Shitta hat the Matzah is on the Prusa, the Matzah is on the Prusa. So why didn't they ever bring that Shitta?
Didn't we just establish that the Prusa also functions as part of the Lechem Mishnah?
Yeah.
So like the Birchas HaMeitzi is also on the Prusa now, no?
That's a Machlekes, but. That's a Machlekes.
Even according to Rebbe, wasn't he saying that I'm saying
we're going to have to understand the relation. We're going to have to understand that. But look, these two of them are facts. One din is that you have to have the prusa during Lechem Mishnah, but the Hamaitzi you don't make on the prusa. The Amaitzi, according to one sheet, they make on the Shlomo. Even though you need it to be the Lechem Mishnah. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's many things that need to be understood. I'm not saying not, but l'chura, this we have a shit. There's a shit that hold that the Amaitzi is on the Shlomo and the Matzah is on the Prusa. When the Rebbe brings the Gabi Yachatz, where there's the Gabi Yachatz that the Amaitzi that the Shvira should be done by the second Matzah, bring to b'shem the Teisvis and Brachas. When he brings it, the Amaitzi goes on the Shleima, the Matzah, and the Prusa, which is the Shem Shitta, he doesn't call it that Teisvis and Brachas. He calls it Teisvis and Psachim, and the Ri, and the Rashba. Mitamal, we have a whole bunch of Rishenim that hold it. What about the end of Teisvis? Well, what's there to bring all the Rishenim? Ri, the Rashbam, why doesn't the Rebbe bring all the Rishenim there?
These reports from Rebbe saying that Amaitzi is on the Prusa, not that the
Amaitzi is on the
Shleima, not the Matzah is on the Prusa.
No, both. They all say both.
I'm saying, be emphasizing the second point.
That thesis also says the second point. It says both.
Yeah, thesis.
For the din of Yachatz, you need both pratim emphasized also. You need a prusa for matzah, because that's the whole word. According to that shit, the whole reason why we prepare this Haggadah is because they need a matzah sheroi lotzes beidechevase. So you have to have the matzah should be prusa, and the Avodah achilas matzah, which is mitzvahs be'er techel matzah, is on the prusa. That's clear. I mean, in Parshat what we can say that the Rebbe brings the tesis there. He already quoted the Gemara in Brachis that the Hamtzai bein Hashlema, so mainly he said tesis there. But I'm saying why here doesn't he bring the tesis? He brings Psachim Dafka. I'm saying based on the Shem. Good, das kann sein. That's the tesis that the Smag brings. No, that's not that guy's Naimanis brings. If we don't our tesis, we don't have such a shit. Yeah, so these pratim are meduyik, and you'll see you have the copy. So Lamer's then two tesis. Let's see the tesis. So which tesis should we do first? You made the wrong copies of Psachim. Abelaz, if you made the copies of Psachim? Huh? Mach the Kreis.
The president kills Orton?
Well, what's supposed to be?
115b. That's what I wrote. Yes. Okay, great. So we'll have to see what to do. But the tasting sukkah is good to learn. We'll learn tasting sukkah. I wrote 116. It's my mistake. It's my mistake.
Vindicated.
I wasn't sure. You see, I took out my phone. Okay, Mr. Thomas Bashar Pratis. Say there. You think I did it on purpose? Good. Let me send tasting blood. Okay, if you have a taste blood, that would be a good thing. But let me send the Gemara in Brachas. Then we'll see this. The Gemara brings machlekes a meiser Rab Huna, Rabbi Yochanan. It can be regular Brachas Hanan. Machlekes there's a mile in Shlomo or not. That's a machlekes. But the Gemara brings Omar. What steht in the Gemara? Omar Papa. Akel made them bepesach. You see in the middle of the couple of lines from the bottom. Omar Papa Akel made them bepesach shemaniach prusa b'tech Shlomo ubetzeya. Why? My timer. Lechem einiksiv. What steht in the Gemara? Kol made the pesach that you take the prusa bein hashlema b'tzeh. My timer lechem einiksiv. The ksiv is eini, not eini is the kri. Eini is aderech eini. The Gemara doesn't touch the whole limud ma'ani b'prusa madai. It just says lechem einiksiv. The eis getach the limud ma'ani b'prusa is in psachim. Here is not eis getach. Good. Omer Rab Abba u'b'shabbos chayev odom l'tzei al shtei kikoros. My timer lechem ishniksiv. Okay, that's it. So was sagt Tesis, Akel made them Pesach Sheminiach Prusa B'tech Hashem Mitzvah my time Lechem Einiksiv. Was sagt Tesis? So Tesis says Mishum dechsiv Lechem Eini, the Ksiv is Lechem Eini Maniach Prusa Tachas Hashem. He touches like this. According to this Tesis, listen well to what Tesis is saying. He says like this. Since inside the limit of Lechem Eini, you put the Prusa Tachas Hashem. You put it under the Shlema. V'nireh kibetzei ala Prusa. Means this tesis shita this tesis in brachas is that you don't. In other words, we have a mitzvah of lechem mishnah. Lechem mishnah, the mitzvah is to say amaitzi and to betzeh sein von lechem mishnah. To be betzeh. What gevena havim in the Gemara says that Pesach by night hakel meidim. that you should have Prusa, but the Gvana Svari should say Amaitzi on the Prusa, and you should be Betzea from the Prusa. So Tesis no. Mitzad this limit of Lechem Eini, put the Prusa Tachas HaShlema, v'nira ki Betzea la Prusa. You shouldn't actually break the Ptzia. Mizol Shmachen, nicht nur Mizol Shmachen Hamaitzi on the Prusa. You shouldn't be Lechem Mishnah is kedel two chiyuvim, two in Yonah, the mitzvah, the chiyuv of Lechem Mishnah. Hamaitzi on two, and to break, to be Betzea from the two. You start your Suda from two. So he says here, don't be maniach the Prusa bein ha-Ptzia, but only should be nira ki Betzea la Prusa. So, and this is an important point to remember. From his lashon's mashma is that after you say Amaitzi, you break off the shlema. No, you don't. Then you make achilas matzah on the prusa.
Which prusa?
One prusa. You have a shlema on a prusa. You say Amaitzi lechem min haaretz, and you break a piece from the shlema, so you're mekayim the mitzvah of lechem mishnah. Then you say achilas matzah and you eat, and you take both and you eat them together. Then it should be nira. We don't actually do the chiv lechem mishnah on the prusa. It should be nira ki betzea la prusa. Should be nira, so b'meila you put it b'shas hamaitzi, you have the prusa under the shlema, and you're going to eat it together. So it's nira as if you're betzea on the prusa. Aside from taste, aside from the taste and psachim is mashma that. I'd say b'dar klal Pesach by night, regular Yom Tov. Some shittas Rishonim hold that when you do the mitzvah of lechem mishnah, you have to be betzea from both of the lecham. You don't have to be betzea on both, because when you're betzea on one, it's as if you're betzea from. You have a group of two, you're betzea from. But from Tesis Mashma and Psachim and here, that mitzad this din of only darki beprusa would be negeya to also be betzea from the prusa. Since you have two shleimis, if you're betzea just from the shalim, it's v'nish zayin klar that your betzea, the might is also being chal on the prusa. So Meila, according to Tesis and Psachim, he says you have to be dafke be betzea also the prusa. But he says the fear is not like that. Don't be betzea the prusa. Vivus the mekayim and them din that the prusa has to be there by inside lechem mishnah. It should be near the betzea. And from this pashas halashon of the Tesis over here is mashma that what? That you do the ptzia on amaitzi before you ptzia lechilas matzah. Just how you mekayim the nira. So you eat them together. You eat them together. But when you do the ptzia on amaitzi, you do it. We're not yetzi the chayv is the shita. We're not yetzi the chayv of the way Tesis thinks the shita here. Because we don't break off the maitzi right after we do amaitzi. We hold both by amaitzi. We don't break anything until after the chilas matzah. According to this shita, you shouldn't do that, because the amaitzi, because you're doing now, you just say amaitzi lechem mishnah, to do lechem mishnah, which part of the mitzvah is part of the chiv is to be betzea, and you're doing now another mitzvah, machta bracha lechilas matzah. That's going to be a hefsek. You have to be betzea right away. So right after amaitzi, you have to brecha na bisel matzah, and then make a lechilas matzah, and then eat them together in order that it should be nireh ki betzea. But you have to make it right away a betzea.
It doesn't mention the third matzah. Doesn't mention.
Good, that's nicht negate. That's nicht their taste. That's a business shot. That's not this taste. But this is the shit. Ich will not raise bringen. All the tastes in Psachim. This shit. I'm just telling you the Nakoda. This shit holds that there's more prat. I'm just saying this prat that this din of ma'ani darke prusa that you have to have a lechem mishnah too. It's he's chelik on how that din is done than all the other shittas. Also the shit of the Ri and the Rashbam and all those other shittas. Because he holds that you should not be betzea from the shlema, from the prusa. Means the prusa is not a part of the chiyuv of lechem mishnah. It's only near the betzea. And that's number one that he holds. And he holds that you should do the ptzia after amaitzi from the shlema. So we don't do like this shitah. We don't do like this shitah, because according to the shitah, after you say amaitzi, that was gedaf zu brechen abyssal. You should be able to do a ptzia right away. We don't do that. We say lechilas matzah first. So we're talking now yetzi they chayva this shita. We'll see why in a minute. I'm just saying So Mela, the Rebbe doesn't bring it. When the Rebbe is explaining there why we're eiches shtei amatzahs b'shas hamaitzi, Kemen is bringing their shita, because according to the stai hamaitzi and stai matzah beida, according to this shita, by matzah you shouldn't be holding the shleima betzah. By hamaitzi that's the halten beida, because it should be nireh kebetzeh, but you should do the ptzia after hamaitzi. Mot gedaf zu brechen gleich nach hamaitzi, according to this shita. And we're not yet to this. But we say after achilas matzah take nicht. You have to be betzea b'shas hamaitzi. We'll see later what the beer is, but this, according to this shit, mashmal says to break the matzah after a matzah take nicht. You have to break the matzah right after hamaitzi. And so we're not yet. So the Rebbe doesn't bring that over there. So Takar not yet the Cheves Dishita. The shaila is why. So, but why doesn't the Rebbe bring the Ri and the Rashi and the Rashbam when he speaks about Yachatz? That we're going to see in a minute because that doesn't bother. But das is that this. You'll just have this clear. It says Mishum doesn't like many much doesn't. V'nirek kibetzei ala person mekong ein leftzaya ki ima la shlema. So you should be betzei on the shlema. So the mashma says after you make a metzit so it's to brechen. V'ala prusi yivarech alechilas matzah. V'kerchem ve'echel mishtem ya. You should eat it together. Why? Because she ain't nirek kibetzei ala prusa. And then he says, "Aval ein lasis. Why should ein lasis ham meitzi v'gam alechilas matzah min aprusa? Davika eis mitzvos chavilas." Ich was sagen, that has befrier agam that I think that we see the Eistim Sochel a little more clear. But this is the problem. Is mitzvah chavilas. You have a mitzvah of lechem mishnah, and there's a mitzvah of achilas matzah. We can't stand die zwei mitzvahs zusammen because you can't do on one chefza two mitzvahs. You can't kill two birds with one stone. You have a glezel wine. You have a chiyuv to machen kiddush al yain. We'll make 10 mitzvahs every Shabbat. Why have to have two cases? Because two separate. You have the case Birchas Hamazon, it's a mitzvah. Then you have a case Shabbat, it's a zweiter mitzvah. You can't do they have the same cup of wine. Why should I have two separate cups of wine? Ein cup of wine, machen 10 mitzvahs mit them. For was nicht? Because ein mitzvah chavilas. You don't reinpack in everything that you could with one mitzvah. Every mitzvah that you do should have a separate object. Shouldn't do everything with one. So you have a mitzvah of lechem mishnah. You have a mitzvah of achilas matzah. So you can't do all two mitzvahs with one chaypitz. The mele kemenish mekayim mitzvahs lechem mishnah on the prusa and achilas matzah on the prusa, because you're killing two birds with one stone. So mele this shita holds that the lechem mishnah is on the shleimus, and it should only be nirdik. And so this shita holds you do lechem mishnah on the shleimus, on the shleima, and achilas matzah on the prusa. We kenish machen ein mitzvah, kenish machen same mitzvah mit ein chaypitz. The Gemara says badarge shalani beprusa. So according to this shita, it's only should be nirdik b'tzeh. I think that according to this shitta, but you'll see it after the tasting. But I think that's why, according to this shitta, so the according to them, the limud of lechem ani ma'ani dake prusa, he holds that the be'etzem, the shadish of that limud is a mitzvah chilas matzah, that the matzah should be on a prusa, like the first din Alter Rebbe brings. Chachamim said that the neis another drash that also lechem mishnah should also be done like al derech ani, but it's two separate mitzvahs, and that drash can't be seiser that drash. Since you have a klal that in is Mrs. Chavilas, so it's can sein that the zweiter din that achilas matzah that the lechem mishnah needs to have a prusa should be a stire to the mitzvah achilas matzah. So he says that whole drasha was only it should be nirek b'tzeh. But you can't have both of these two mitzvahs together because in Mrs. Chavilas. So the parent Chacham Mesakim given that there should be b'shas lechem mishnah prusa means that the mitzvah of lechem mishnah should be done on a prusa. Says the Chacham didn't mean that the mitzvah of lechem mishnah should be done with the prusa. Just it should be nirek b'tzeh. Misal machen a dimyan to the ani b'shas lechem mishnah, but not that the mitzvah of lechem mishnah should be done with that matzah. He's memayit that din. It should be nirek b'tzeh. Not it should be b'tzeh mamish. So zayin nirek. And he also it should be dafke b'tzeh the amaitzi before achilas matzah. Ari is weisen that the two separate mitzvahs being done over here. I'll show you why I'm saying this because if you look later in the Taisvis. This is argues, Venirali, we'll skip the Venirali for now. The Bidz Rabbeinu Menachem Mivina, Hayiragel Asta Kela Eret gehalten that everything's done on the Prusa. This Rabbeinu Menachem Mivina, that everything has to be done on the Prusa. There's no problem with his Chavilas, because Lechem Mishnah is a din in Birchas Hanenin. There's no issue of Chavilas. This wasn't the Shaila, what's the reason why? But he says there's no issue of Chavilas. Mainly he did everything on the Prusa. What was the Ri? There's the Ri here and the Ri in Sachem, so it was Landish. But this point, in this Nekuda Beit with the Bari, here Tesis brings Tum and Hagam of the Ri. The Rebbe brings the Ri in Psachim, not the Ri in Tesis in Berachas. What's the Ri ton? We have Machlekes. The Erste Shit in Tesis over here holds that the Amaitzi is done dafka on the Shlema, and the Matzah on the Prusa. The Menachem Evina halt, everything has to be done on the Prusa. So Hari, Hayiragel, I have a big difference because according to the Menachem Evina, you have to say on the prusa. Part of the mitzvah of lechem mishnah is to say amaitzi and to brechen a bissel from the prusa. So according to the big nafkamil of din, according to the first shita of teisvis, you break the shleima, and you don't break. And according to the second shita, dafin to brechen the kleine, the prusa, because you need to do lechem mishnah. So what for? So what's the rigeton? Vari hayiragel avaret chile berachas amaitzi al shtein. What did he do? He made a Meitzi on both. Mit Kele gewen beide in Lechem Mishnah. Nicht wie der erste Shit. You'll see. Kedem sheyivtza. V'achar kach mevarech al achilas matzah. And he didn't do any ptzia yet. Ubetzia mishten. Achar kach. What was the Chiddush of the Ri? He didn't do the ptzia after Ameitzi. He used to first make a Meitzi on both. And then you do Betzia Mishten. So what's the before example, what's the Marviach given? But you see what we do is what the Ri did. But the Erste Shit that you can't say. Why couldn't the first Shit do that? Because you can't be Betzia the Prusa according to him. You can't be the Betzia has to be done right after Ameitzi. The Betzia is on the Shlomo. And the Prusa has nothing to do with Ameitzi. I mean, can it done with Ameitzi? Because Mitzvah Chavilas Chavilas. You can't do Mitzvah Lechem Mishnah also on the Betzia. According to the Rino, you could do a Lechem Mishnah. Also, the Prusa is negate to Lechem Mishnah. So also the Prusa also has to be a part of the Lechem Mishnah. And Mameli has to be a priest of a Poel Mamash on the Prusa also. I Chavilas Chavilas. So according to the Ri, Eib du weist, du Hosish Kim Beblem to have two Kazesim, you have no problem with Chavilas Chavilas. Chavilas Chavilas is you show laziness. And one chayv two styles. Here, he's going to eat a Kazais of both. So maybe there's no problem with Chavilas. But the Pel he held they should do a Ptzia mitzad Hamaitzi. So the Ptzia of Hamaitzi wait till after Achilas Matzah and do both Ptzias. So it doesn't understand what's the machlekes here. Why? Let's say according to the first shitta, the mekanish in Yisrael Chavilas can nicht machen Hamaitzi on the. Why couldn't he also hold to wait till after Achilas Matzah and do Ptzia on both? And I'll be what's the problem?
The first one?
According to the first one, why can't they do that? Why can't they make a Meitzi on the Shlomo? A Matzah on the Prusa? Why? What's the nafkamina here that according to the Ri found this Eitzah that he should do Hamaitzi on both and the Chilas Matzah on the second one on the Prusa and to be Mitzvah from both. So he found an Eitzah to be Mekayim this din of Ma'ani Darka Prusa for Lechem Mishnah. He did it with Payal at Tzubrachim Beida. There's no problem with Chavilas. Why couldn't the first shit also do that? Why does he say Daf could be Mitzvah after? And the Prusa should only be near the Mitzvah. So I think this is the point that the machlekes of here is this din the Ma'ani Darka Prusa. According to the first shit and Taisvis, Ani Darka Prusa it's not a din of Lechem. It doesn't do with Lechem Mishnah. There's a halacha that the matzah has to be with Lechem Eini. That's a halacha b'fnei atzma. The din that the Rabbanan Daham Gedarshan that Ma'ani Darka Prusa Af Kam B'Prusa was that you should do Lechem Mishnah should be done al derech Kanani, but it can't be in a way that it's going to be a stira to mitzvah matzah. The Mela Halton said that the whole chiyuv melchatchila was only that it should be nirek mitzvah. According to him, the whole din that Ma'ani Darka Prusa Af Kam Darka Prusa was only that the Lechem Mishnah should be done with the Prusa was only not that be'etzem Lechem Mishnah that the Prusa is a part of the mitzvah of Lechem Mishnah. It's not just a bibal as dark shlani beprusa, so to machen a dimien b'shas hameitzi al derech hakanoni. So it's enough that it's nirek b'tzeh. Means Chacham nicht weggestellt as a din soll sein a stire to the klolim of mitzvahs.
He doesn't want to come.
Was that all being b'tzeh right away?
He doesn't want to come to.
If you be mitzvah, so it'll be a hefsek. You have to be mitzvah first. It should be clear that the lechem mishnah is with the shleimus. Ve'ikram shel dvarim the lechem mishnah is ve'ikram with the shleimus. Not with the prusa. The prusa is just to make a zeicher for the ani, as I'm a certain word. But it's not in the guf achiv of lechem mishnah. According to this shit.
He has a problem with the beauty. Why is Chavilas with the ring?
The Ri, yes, he has a problem with that because he holds that if you can do the mitzvah of lechem mishnah also with the prusa, does machs the chavilas.
Doesn't matter.
Machs zwei mitzvahs, yeah. The chiyuv, you have a stir over here in other words. Hast mitzvahs lechem mishnah, and you have mitzvahs lechem eini. It's kann nicht sein a stir zwischen die zwei. So mir the shit holds that it's only near the ganze drash, the ikra drash of lechem eini is the gabe the chefs of matzah. Dazu kommen a drash that the moed should be on the prusa is only near the kibbutz. So, Mash'eg and Teisvis in the Ri and Teisvis in Psachim, they hold, they don't bring this din that Lechem Eini Darke, that the mitzvah Achilas Matzah has to be a prusa. The Ri sagt das nicht. The Teisvis sagt das nicht in Psachim. That mitzvah that your Loi, Lotzes Beidechi, Vos is dafka with a Matzah Shal Prusa, Shal Matzah Shalani. They don't bring it. So, and they don't, this halacha that mitzvah Matzah has to be a parus. Steht nicht. So they hold that the whole din of prusa is a whole din of lechem mishnah. The halacha of ma darka shlani beprusa, according to them, mitzvah achilas matzah mit rabbanon is not dafka prusa, be'et mitzvah matzah itself. Since there's a limud of ma darkish lanav prusa, that limud is amishas mezak tamaitzi zol zayin as evianon. No, since so also that's kisnifla that the mitzvah matzah should also be done with the prusa. But the ikir drash is the second thing. The ikir drash is that instead lechem mishnah should be like anon. That's why there's from the fun stammt the halacha of having a prusa. Because you have to be tzei al derech like an ani. Once the limud that you're tzei like an ani is from lechem ani, so you're kind of mitzvah matzah also with the prusa. But not that the limud of lechem ani is a limud in mitzvah matzah.
And he's going to learn why you have to have a matzah that's only like a matzah, not a matzah shira, why?
That's not a limud. There's many different. This limud of the ksiv of ani ma darkish lanav prusa that he learns that this gemara that azevia and ani is that halach is halach in the Melech Mishnah. If you don't have the gemara in Pesachim,
No, you have a video.
Yeah, but you don't have to see the gemara. If I want to convince you that I'm right, you have to see the gemara. No, but so what that is bringing. But if this is true, then the I'm saying it's clear in the Gemara, but it's clear in Teisus and Pesachim. So they're not Eina.
There's another one over there. Small.
That's a machine. If you look, we just saw the we see the Teisus and Brachas, yeah. No, it's good if you're interested. It's great to see. Look at it.
Which one is that?
Huh? Kufta Zvav 115b. No, 115. No, 116. I was right. My mistake. 116a, not 116b. What's the biggest shit?
16a.
Okay, I don't know the alphabet. No, Tere, Machlamal Greis.
So you're saying that they relearned that Ayin did in Lechem Mishnah?
The Ikra in Lechem Mishnah. Look at the Gemara here. The Gemara brings the limud.
Every tablets on your phone.
Lechem Eini, Lechem Oni Ksiv. Oni Ksiv. Ma Oni Shadarki Beprusa, Afkan Beprusa. So what does it bring over here? Ma Oni Darki Beprusa, Afkan Beprusa. Where's the that picture?
I know there's a phone. Take a picture of the fish.
Ma'oni darki beprusa, afkan beprusa.
Just pull up PDF.
It's getting very professional. Ma'oni darki beprusa, afkan beprusa. See what the Gemara says? Afkan beprusa. So what does it say? What does it say? Nire the gamametzer chalavarech ala prusa. This whole case is coming to be explained that this limud of ma'oni darki beprusa is a limud. Lashon says is gam, but that it's a limud. The Gemara means a limud for legabe hamaitzi. What's it saying? Nira the gamaitzer chavarech ala prusa. What's this coming to? This coming to be made over here that this din of darkish lanav prusa is nish nar halacha legabe mitzvahs matzah, but it's a bracha legabe hamaitzi. That birchas hamaitzi, that's mitzvahs lechem mishnah, has to be done on the prusa. That's coming. So according to Tosfos, this is coming to say that the ptzia has to be on the prusa. You have to do mitzvahs lechem mishnah on the prusa dafka, because that's the mechuvan of this limud. It's not a derech agav. The limud of ma darkish lanav prusa is mechayiv that hamaitzi should also be done on the prusa. Why? Because that's the ganze din. That's the comment. It brings rayas because the whole din over here is the gabi din of hamaitzi. So you can't. So over here also you have to do a ptzia mamash on the prusa. You have to a repnam and a shtickle on oni ben essen from the prusa. Mitzvahs lechem mishnah. Tosfos and brachis, the first shit that Tosfos brings. He says that only nirike b'tzeh. He's be'etzem the din of ma darkish lanav prusa is halach in matzah. It's halach in matzah, not halach in. It's not halach in hamaitzi. I the Gemara stellt us zu hamaitzi. It should be nirike b'tzeh. But Tosfos over here is coming to explain that the ikar meimra of ma darkish lanav prusa is that also the hamaitzi should be said on the prusa. That's the ikar meimra. If you look at the end, so also sign of the prusa. But he says this. That's the Gemara. This is the mashmos of this limud. He's ma'idach over here. There he says that come in Pesach Shemini Prusim Techa Shleim B'Tzeh. But Avil Man Avil Shleim doesn't get the Pratim. Leinin Pesach Leinin Varach Ala Shleim Ela La Prusim. Shem Dar Ma'ad Agash Shalani. Means all dealing with that. What's Pesach being arrived from Perekis Nevarach? Perekis Nevarach Meret Minish Legabi Mitzvah Zachilas Matzah. Meret wegen the mitzvah, the din of Lechem Mishnah, of making a Maitzi. And dort steht in the Gemara that Pesach everybody is made that it should be done in the Prusim. So how can you speak on the mitzvah Zachilas Matzah? Meret Chash dort wegen them.
So why is it to say Hashlemis?
One second. We'll get to that. Kadesh Nirge B'Shabbat Zal Hashleim. And this is verkehrt. Why do you put the Prusa Ben Hashlema? Because she near the Shabbat Zal Hashlema. Umashmel in Amaitzi Kamari. Dort and that's the Gabi Amaitzi. And come Rosh Rachi when Bechid of Shalach Mishnah. Very come Arichas over here. The brings Rai is that the whole Gemara there B'Nigeh the Prusas all halachas inside Amaitzi. So what's this coming to prove? That the whole din of Madag Shlan B'Prusa is halach in Amaitzi. The Gemara brings in the Gabi Amaitzi. That's a central factor in this limud of Madag Shlan B'Prusa. This is at the end. Achri, hay mevarech hamaitzi. So this is maskan over here isn't to say that the etzim should make hamaitzi and al chavas on the Prusa. Riya technisch goes for naze. Achri hay mevarech hamaitzi ala shleima. V'hadra al achilas matzah ala Prusa. But when we do the ptzia, b'tzia mishtein yachad. When would you do the ptzia? Not like the first shit of Tesis in Brachas. Because Ri also agrees that the limud of Mad Dark Shlan B'Prusa is a limud also like Gabi Matzah. It's cool. Vice there's a machlekes over here. If be'etzem lechem, if the Matzah Prusa is a part of the mitzvah of the chiv of lechem Mishnah Pesach or not, and then in them it's totally whether it's enough nirek b'tzei la Prusa, you have to have a b'tzia mamash la Prusa, and that's also totally in could you make a lechilas matzah before you do the b'tzia? According to the shit of Tesis and Brachas, the chiyuv of lechem, the chiyuv Prusa has nothing to do with lechem Mishnah. It's a din naisef. But lepoil mamish is a chiyuv of lechem Mishnah. Chomer yechet zugestellt, make a zecher tan oni b'shas du machst ptzia la pas. But be'etzem the chiyuv, but the Prusa is gesagt geworden not so mitzad the mitzvah of matzah. Be'meili if you're going to make a ptzia after, you're making a hefsek. That's machen the ptzia right after you do a mitzvah. Mashik in Teisvis holds, even the Ri in Teisvis holds. The be'etzem, the drash of Madag Shlan B'Prusa is a drash also the Gabi Lechem Mishnah. It's a chiyuv gomer. It's a chiyuv mitzad Pesach Lechem Mishnah so zayin echat Prusa. And for that chiyuv you need a ptzia mamish. You can't say nirzik b'tzia because the chiyuv is to be b'tzia la Prusa. Lepel is the problem of Mrs. Chavilas. And that's a stira. So Zokter, you make a maitzi on the shleim, and you achilas matzah on the Prusa, but you do the ptzia after. And it won't be a hefsek because in order for you to be, since lepel mamish the Prusa, the mitzvah matzah is a part of the Lechem Mishnah, it's not a hefsek according to him. If according to Tessim Sachim, the mitzvah chilas matzah, Chachamim connected it to the chiv of Lechem Mishnah. Chachamim der Prat Shveter. I just want to bring out this. Chachamim der Shveter. This is nachal. I just want to bring out the Gabi the Tzionim. But Eib was Zag is richtig, which we'll see later. Pratim Sag upon him. Now, but Tesis and Brachis Zag nicht mefurish. Tesis doesn't say mefurish that Lechem Eini is a din in a chilas matzah. It doesn't touch the race. Tesis just says that etzem zach. From Tesis is mashma clear that the din of Mad Dark Shlan B'Prusa the Gabi Lechem Mishnah is a din zdadi. Nirek b'tzeh. What's the ikr? The ikr is al machen achilas matzah on the Prusa, and he says clearly mitzvahs chavilas. Because mashos Tesis and Brachis is that for mitzvahs matzah you have to have a Prusa. Even though a result is shmefurish, but it can touch in Tesis differently a little bit. But this one I mean now. So Lepoil, if you look, it's very interesting to say. The Ran that Rebbe brought before, like Yachatz. Why do we do Yachatz? Why do we break the matzah before the Haggadah? The Rebbe says why? Because the Haggadah that gesagt van af matzah, haroi lotzis v'yidei chivas. Right? And haroi lotzis v'yidei chivas is dafka Prusa. Ver zog that the matzah which with that your yates the mitzvah chilas matzah has to be a Prusa. Madak Shlan B'Prusa, Afkan B'Prusa. But according to the Tesis, no Rishonim in Sugim Psachim, all the Rishonim bring it there. Beikar legabi amayt. No one touches ice that the mitzvah be'erev teichel matzahs has to be done bafka with al derech hanami. If there the Gemara, the Rishonim bring it legabi. Rishonim say make a chilas matzah on the Prusa, but there the Mashma says that be'etzim the Prusa is there mitzad lechamishdem, mitzad amaitzi. So there's more pratim. I just want to bring out this the Rishon Vazak, which you have a clear raya mitvarav. That the din of Madak Shlan B'Prusa is a halacha in mitzvah achilas in the mitzvah of matzah. That's in the Ran b'shem Rabbi Goyim. For him, it's muchra that the drash chacham of ma'oni darke prusa of kandarke prusa is halacha not themselves chafir in the anoni. That the matzah haroi lots of the chavasi. What's for a matzah is a matzah ru'uya. For mitzvah matzah is the matzah of eini. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I'm middle of a shir. Okay, back soon. Good. So yeah, there's pratim of lammers and
the fifth in bracha.
Ich wollte zurückgehen zu die pratim. Ich wollte zurückgehen zu dem. You're still going mit bald machen wir sehen. Mit bald machen wir sehen. It's a good zusammenhang. Prusa. Lammers then. Das was ich sage ist also wir sind die Gemaras, ja? Die Gemaras sind wir. Es steht we have a limit the Gemara ma darkish ani be Prusa kann be Prusa, aber es steht in die Gemara that when I'm saying is the Alter sagt zwei Dinge. The Alter sagt ein Ding ist you have to make mitzvahs matzah. Was for a cert chayfis is matzah? What type of bread is it? It has to be flour and water, no matzah shit. That's clear. It also is there another din that has to be a broken matzah? Steht da was Sachen in die Gemara? That the matzah haroi loses bei dich was. Was for as sein zu brachen matzah? The Gemara says not going to be prusah, but the Rishonim don't touch us that it's that the matzah from the Rishonim you could say that it has to do with a maitzi. Azay bi an ani. What's the pashas lashon in the Gemara? Ma darkish ani be prusah kam prusah. Mashma says punkt azay bi an ani when he makes a maitzi. He makes a maitzi and a prusah. There is a here when he sit down to make a maitzi, do it like an ani. Not that it has to be bread of an ani. The way the Rishonim bring it, the Rishonim use it for like a mishnah. If you're using if the limud was as if an ani had a tzavroch and a shtickle, matzah should be a tzavroch and a shtickle. What does it do with like a mishnah? We felt us around like a mishnah. Matzah has to be a tzavroch and a shtickle. How does the Gemara bring it? How does the Rishonim bring it? As if an ani which has to say chavek essen. When he says that it's on the prusah, there is a here. When you make a mitzvah, it should be on the prusah.
No, it says the Haggadah has to be silent.
Huh?
Yeah,
no. So how do you? What I'm saying is the Rishonim that when you look at the Gemara in Pesachim, when the Gemara says matak when you touch azay b'pashtus, ma darkish lanu azay an ani firtzach, you should also have a type of bread of an ani, or you should also be misnaig azay an ani pesach v'nach. From the way that Rishonim bring the Gemara, that mashmos is the second if that azay an ani when he sits down to make a mitzvah, he has a tzabrach and a matzah. When you sit down to make a mitzvah, you should have a tzabrach and a matzah. So it's not a din what type of matzah you're making mitzvah chilas matzah with. That's halacha v'imedar b'zachfirin b'shas muzak ta'mitzvah. So we don't have a makom of Alter Rebbe that the matzah haroi losses b'yedei basi has to be a matzah person. We find a makar of that. The Gemara, if you touch the Gemara matzah haroi person, that punkt is if an oni est a shtickle. Matzah there is an a shtickle. So how does it have to do with lecha mishnah? Wo falt es rein b'chal gabi amaitzi? How does Hashem have a chal shakalatari to make a mitzvah in it? What's hot done? A broken matzah mitzvah chilas matzah. Wo falt rein a mitzvah? But the Rishonim for sure connected to a mitzvah. Why? Because it's a din lecha mishnah. How is it a din lecha mishnah? Because the pshat of ma darkish lani is not we should eat the same type of food as an ani. We should sit down to eat like an ani sits down to eat. Punkt der an ani macht a mitzvah if it's a brach in a we should make a mitzvah and it's a brach in a so then it's not a t'nai matzah. So where's the din of yachas, which yachas were saying that in order the Haggadah has to be said on a matzah rei lots of b'dei chevasi. What's for a matzah is rei lots of b'dei chevasi? It's a brach in a matzah. Who the makar of them?
So you're asking what the makar of the Ran is?
For the Alter Rebbe.
No,
I thought you said the Ran says that.
The Ran, I mentioned before that the Ran. What does the Ran say?
That ma darkish shalani is going on the fact that he has.
I'm going to explain that. I'm just saying that where do you see it in the Ran? No Rishem says. I'm saying. So if you look at that Ran of Yachatz, the Ran is. And this is Chafei mit Beis in the Daf Yerif. I don't know if you have all the Gemara says. Look, Hakal made in the Pesach. He brings the Gemara. Hakal made the vision. The first that's a big arichas here. Niu kosher bin Haggadah. Look what he says here. From this bin Haggadah is clear that the limud of oni darkei b'prusa is halacha in the chetz of the matzah. That's clear in this Rabbi Haggadah. So Miu kosher bin Haggadah and the leitmer ela b'vila fan b'deira. Bin Haggadah said this whole din that you make that you should have a prusa is only leitmer ela if you already have psisim. If you feel on a prusa, kommer shura shoy levarich ala prusa. May meg machen am Meitzi after Prusa. According to Rabbi Nagan, learns that the whole din. Oh, what all the Rishonim say that the Prusa is a prat lechem mishkut that's a reshus. If you want, you could also have the Prusa by Amaitzi. But there are klal by Amaitzi. You should have shleimis. You could, if you want, you could also have the Prusa by Amaitzi. So that he learns for sure that that's not a psachi of avalimi vilafan of shleimin shel first in lon avalimi vilafan of shleimin to go break it in lon. I'm saying I'm sad Amaitzi for sure not. Amaitzi is lechamishna. Then he said, "Yeah, I mitzad mitzvah achilas matzah. The imishum de darshin melechem oini." So the chore, what's he want to say over here? That it should be a tnai is only sheishes and matzah side is broken. He says, "Leitmer elu l'shus dumi darmin in perikes mavarchim hay kube da'are nam hu ba'adim mitzvah b'dichavas b'pesach matayim melechem oini." So the Gemara says that if you have that naisa, which is baked by the heat of the sun, says matzah mekinyetis and mitzvah achilas matzah. It's not the special boars. The Gemara says, since it's lechem eini, so only hatachish can get to have a fire, so it uses the sun. So that's a limud, so that you don't have to use matzah that's baked in the sun. So you see that not every limud of lechem eini means that it's likuva. But what do you see clearly from the fact? What's the rif's raya? What's the Haggadah's raya that the din of prus is not ma'akiv? Because punkt as if you look at the Gemara in brachis. That lechem oini, we know that koved ha'ar is kosher lePesach, is kosher for matzah. That's a din in the chepsa of the matzah. But not all din of the chepsa of the matzah is leikuva. So this din is also not leikuva. So it's a machin subrach. But you clearly see that he learns that the din of mat dargash lani b'prusa is halacha in the what type of matzah you're mekayim the mitzvah. Lepeli holds that it's reshus. It's not ma'akiv, but he holds that it's din of matzah. And hat is nicht ma'akiv. He holds that it's not, and the Rif and the Haggadah holds that the Madagash Prusa Pesach by night is the din of Madagash. According to him, Madagash Prusa the Ikra din is saying what type of matzah you roy lost the chivasi is matzah. Is the Ikra din is said in the chefs of the matzah. This din that you could have that Pesach, you could have shle, you could have, if you don't have, you could make a bracha mitzvah on the Prusa. That's a heter. But there you're not allowed to make a mitzvah on the Prusa. You should make a dafkan shleim. Pesach by night, so Madagash lani you do a heter. There's no chiyuv. But what the alfusa from Madagash lani b'prusa? The alfusa is that matzah davzaina is a zamesh chefsa, which is aram ebreit. Certain pratim and aram ebreit are likova, certain pratim are not likova. But he's the only one that clearly teaches this mefurish that lechem eini Madagash lani b'prusa is halach in the chefsa of matzah is Rabbi Haggadah. And you can't say that it's a lechem mishnah because he holds that it's only a heter the gabi lechem mishnah. So he says aval achshav nagu. What's the aval? That it should be yali kuva. Even though Rabbi Haggadah got nasen nicht, but the minig lepeli given for achshav nagu akei levarich al achilas matzah leprusa. That means that we should yet take that din likuva. Okay, this in this end, this is nicht as a. But Kaplan say like this. So the Rebbe means the Ramashim Rabbi Haggadah in. The din is based on the avon of the Ramashim Rabbi Haggadah. Means this, the limud that Madagash Lani B'prusa is a likuva and the chefza of matzah, does state in Rabbi Haggadah. Sagt that's nicht likuva. Mir nehmen on that is yes, yeah, it's yeah likuva. But the Yisrael is based on the Ramashim Rabbi Haggadah. No other Rishonim say it.
And Haggadah doesn't have the same.
He holds that it's a tonight, that it's a gather matzah.
He just the patent from the That's why he finishes up.
Good. He holds you don't need b'chad prusa. He holds that it's a heter. That's but that's an Indian that darkish lam prusa. That's it. No one else brings it. No one else touches the race. He touches the race. But the einzige Sache he holds that it's not likuva. So we mir nemen say likuva. As it brings out and there's no makom before Shlomo Shalom. But we say that it's likuva. Lepoil mamish the minig lepoil is that it's not for sure not likuva with the rice. Someone eats achilas matzah and a shleimo is yaitz the mitzvah of achilas matzah. There's no shayla. But lepoil v'mir firinzach lechatchilor the shleimus the mitzvah is yalek Rabbi Haggadah this havan lechameni. So lepoil to me you said the Ramashim Rabbi Haggadah not in the minig. The Rebbe doesn't mean the minig. If you look, the magdam lifres, but yeah, Ramashim Rabbi Haggadah. Yeah, the minig was, but there was still the pile. The minig is given darten, and the etzem inyan that mizal neme the matzah prusa to take the limud leikuve of them is given their minig. But okay, das nicht as is getouched. But this is this is not.
But Pashas that would also require, so whether it's you break it before Magid, but you certainly should break the matzah in half before you come to Meitzah Matzah. Because if you were saying if it's an Indian in the Chav to the mitzvah, then otherwise just breaking apart the matzah and then making a bracha on it and eating it is how regular people eat. Saying you don't bite into a full matzah and then, in other words, regardless, there should be some sort of indication that the Chav to the mitzvah is a partial matzah sometime before Meitzah Matzah.
Why does it have to be broken? That's what you're saying.
You're saying that it has to be a matzah prosa, right?
Who said that it has to be a matzah? That's what Haggadah says.
Huh?
Who says it has to be a broken matzah?
You said that's what the Haggadah.
That's what I'm explaining. I'm saying the reason.
According to Haggadah, I'm saying there should be some sort of space, even disregarding the Alter Rebbe. There should be some sort of requirement to break the matzah before you get to Meitzah Matzah, so that there's an indication.
Oh, so now, so this is.
I'm going to do the deal, I'm sorry, but the Rebbe said,
Der Tam is nicht mehr used, that the Tam besteht dort. Der Etzem Zach. Before, I'm saying, the Etzem Zach, als aus ein Matzah Prusses negiert zum Matzah, das steht in der Haggadah.
Verstehe, aber wo sagst du, der Rebbe zeichnet es zu dem Nekudet? Where do you see that the land b'shem Rabbi Haggadah?
What's the taste of b'shem Rabbi Haggadah?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if you look at Haggadah, the Rebbe said, "Makim libros and matzakedem Haggadah."
Yeah.
Land b'shem Rabbi Haggadah.
Yeah.
So you're saying in the word of Makim libros and matzakedem Haggadah.
Erstens, the guf haminig, the minig.
Okay.
So that means not only the minig, der yesod that matzah should be a prusa. Steht dort. Ich frage dir Shaila. Why were they mahader lifris? Why was the minig was lifris? Mitzad lechamishna or mitzad matzah? Why were they mahader to? Why did they break? Why did they break? Why did they? No, before, not before. The prep before I got the lapel, the ran shit at the time. Why did they break the matzah? Why did they want a matzah prusa there? For lechamishna or for mitzvah achilas matzah? For mitzvah achilas matzah. So that's clear that the makar that mitzvah matzah has to be a prusa is this minig b'shem Rabbi Haggadah.
Okay, I'm asking. I'm not. I just don't.
The time is taken out there. That means a different reason. I'm saying that's a kocha that the reason is different. The etzem minig mitzubrecht. Why do you want a tzabrach in a matzah? Forget about when, not the time when we do it. Why do you want to break a matzah? Why are you breaking matzahs? Keep a matzah complete. Because not mitzvah lechem mishnah, because mitzvah achilas matzah has to be a lechem parus. That the makar is the minig was stated in the Haggadah.
Where do you see that they're trying to say that?
What else is he? What's he bringing a makar for? What's he bringing a makar for? That you break a matzah. That you break a matzah before, he says this man. No, I'm saying this man. There's difference in legabe. This man is written there, but the time is different.
This man is written elsewhere.
No, so it is written. The Kolbe brings it also for a different reason.
The Kolbe really break before I got it.
Yeah, but he doesn't say hilachmanya.
He says before hilachmanya.
He says mitzad hilachmanya.
Mitzad hilachmanya.
That's before.
So where do you see that the Rebbe is trying to say that's not the Rebbe because the Rebbe brings?
I'm saying it's was verdintment from the Ram b'shem Rabbi Haggadah. So mitzvardint is that what we're searching for before this man, what we're searching for a matzah prusa is b'shem Rabbi Haggadah. That's what we're searching for. The Rebbe doesn't bring the chiddush, and the reason why we do it earlier, not later, does taken der tam take steht nicht dort. Der Ram sagt der zweite tam. Let's leave that at tzarchim.
I'm not. I agree with you.
No, you don't have this.
No. Question. I'm just trying to see one more thing. Where do you see so Navadan? It's not just we see later in the Piska that the Rebbe is Indian that the matzah has to be matzah in the Piska of
let me finish this piece now. The Rebbe says that why a priest has to be under. The Rebbe brings dafke tesis de v'naskal hakilshon. No, this is important. If you say that this is called another like this, even with Zagen, we have two drashes. Without Rebbe brings two drashes in Shulchan Aruch. Ein drash is that the matzah has to be at the brach in the matzah. A zweite drash haben wir that the lechem mishnah soll sein, that the lechem mishnah soll haben a lechem parus. The way the Ri and the other Rishonim, they haben gehalten that you're betzea also from the prusa. So they hold that mitzvah lechem mishnah is mechayiv. That Rebbe says Shulchan Aruch. That mitzvah lechem mishnah is also mechayiv to do it on the prusa. As if the poil, that Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. The kula alma, that Rebbe says that lechem mishnah pesach banet is mechayiv prusa. As if there. So now, if lechem mishnah is mechayiv prusa, we don't know this separate din that the chefza of matzah is l'shem matzah. We don't know that. We don't have that clear anywhere. Could be the main limud of Haggadah of prusa is that the lechem mishnah should be with the paras. So why shouldn't you break the top matzah? Why shouldn't you break the top matzah? First of all, could be there will be no problem with my vernal mitzvahs, but let's say in the most simple way. Dulos is to break in the matzah. You break the top matzah, and then before keisheni or mashu kazeh, you'll take the tzibrak matzah and lay it under the hechel matzah. Why isn't it get right away? They should put in the second matzah. Yeah. If you say the limud of matzah that the lechem ein is a din in matzah, b'meila the Haggadah has to be ne'emeres ala matzah. So then the matzah haprusa she gevarn a chefta shel mitzvah farda. That's what Rebbe is saying. That would be a zulzul to take which is already a chefta shel mitzvah, which is mekayim b'mitzvah hamidas Haggadah ala matzah, and to go put it under push it away under the second matzah. That's taken. If you put it ben so it says einza. But once you said that this is you already established it as a chefta shel mitzvah. It's already much gesagt Haggadah of them, and then you're going to put it under. But that's only if the din of matzah really according to the Rishonim in Psachim, which is mashal the din of action on person's halacha and amaitzi. Can't take a ton as it. Because right now there's no din on this prusa. Right now mitzvah brechtas and there's no din chal on the prusa. It's not the mitzvah chefza of matzah. It's not the special din chefza of matzah. The hamaitzi should be done on the prusa. The whole dagish lana hits by hamaitzi. So before hamaitzi, you'll put the prusa under the shleima. There's no problem. There's no beer. Why do you have to have it melchatchila under the prusa? So the Rebbe is mitzayin dafka to the teisvis, because from the mashmos, because teisvis nirek b'tzeya. I'm saying from the teisvis you see that the din of not dagish lana b'prusa is a din legabe matzah. It's nicht gedin lechem mishnah. Sazayte gesagt lechem mishnah. There brings behemshach to the Ram, and okay, this is. What I'm saying is, you see clearly, we have machlekes there. The pile, the Rim Psachim halt. Hat menach am Meitzi ad Shlomo, macht al chilz matzah on the prusa, but he holds here betzeya from both. The mashmos of the Ri is macht mis mekayim mitzvos lechem mishnah beide. Man sagt am Meitzi of the erste, but the pile here betzeya both. The prat lechem mishnah am zubrecht macht man beide. Well, chore, what's it? Ein mitzvos chavilas. But he holds us azedum masakim v'malchatchila. But etzem min ikar adin, you don't need achilas matzah. The prusa is not here mitzad achilas matzah itself, because the prusa is here mitzad madakish lani b'prusa, which beikar is adin alechem mishnah. So you know, and the chacham malchatchila, this limud an eingestellt the lechem mishnah should be done on the azedum mitzvah malchatchila. It's no problem with chavilas according to him. According to him, the din that the matzah should be a prusa, the shadish of that Indian comes from dakish lani b'prusa by amaitzi. Once the Aini is Mechai B'Metzit, to have Prusa, you also do the Matzah on the Prusa. But the Shelish Adin hebt sich gestammt from the Chefza of Matzah, hebt sich on Madar gestammt Prusa, the Mitzvah Achilas Mat, by Hamaitzi.
So it's not much Chavilas.
So Mela is not Chavilas really. That's why according to him, you are Mekayim Mitzvah Lechem Mishnah with the Prusa. You Mekayim two Mitzvahs according to the Rebbe with the Prusa.
No, because the Chatchila Takana was to do Matzah on what?
The din of, in other words, what's the yisayid of Madagish Lan B'Prusa? What's the yisayid of this Yalfusa? It's the Yalfusa legabi Matzah, or it's the Yalfusa legabi Hamaitzi Pesach Banait? According to the Ri, it's the Yalfusa legabi Hamaitzi. That the Hamaitzi should be done like an ani. Okay. Since this limud is gelernt from Reis Lechem Aini, so we mekayim mitzvahs Matzah also with the Prusa. But the shadish limud hebt sich an von Madagish Lan B'Prusa is a din in Hamaitzi. You know where I'm from, Chavilas. That's the Takana de Rabbanu. Mitzad mitzvah chilas matzah you could do, but the Chachamim said to do to be mitzad of these two mitzvahs. This Takana de Rabbanu. I have an issue of Chavilas. So he says eat two matzahs. But what you see from the Ri is that that's clear according to the Ri that the din of lechem mishnah is that the matzah prusa is a chelik ikri of lechem mishnah. Mashiach, according to taste in brachis, has nothing to do with l'chamisha. So when the Rebbe is bringing here that the matzah the matzah prusa should be on the bottom, it's masim only if you hold the mat dargash lani b'prusa is halach and the chefsa of matzah. If you don't hold that, first of all, switch it before. Even if you don't switch it before, it could be according to the Ri, once the prusa is on top. But that's according to the Ri, lechem mishnah is also on the prusa. The only reason why I say amitza on the shleima is because we want to be merachik it kol mashe bifol mekan from mitzvahs chavilas, but not on the expense of moving away another mitzvah.
So the Ri does hold where they do make
hamitza on the top and the prusa on the bottom.
They do make the mitzvah of matzah on the prusa.
Yes, he does. The brachas, but that's not. It's not a chiluk. It's not meguf advar. It's not that according to him the prusa has nothing to do with lechem mishnah. Mizvekayim lechem mishnah have the prusa echet.
Or mizvekayim matzah the prusa.
Mizvekayim matzah the prusa echet. But the brachas macht dann ab zwei, macht the prusa abed. In other words, regular lechem mishnah. The Rash bahal alma lechem mishnah. You should be betzeya from both. Rashi says he macht ab. So the rihal pesach banach zay betzeya abed. But in order to be merachiket from the musik of chavilas, bleib mechalik the brachas.
Because it's the union of matzah also and the union of prusa.
Yeah. But Kaplan, what you see from him is that the prusa is a prat in lechem mishnah.
Okay.
Not okay. Therefore, the Rebbe doesn't bring that because according to that shit, it's going to be. That's why the marker over here is dafke this shit. Now,
why does he say that it's in the middle?
Who?
The Ri.
He holds that it's in the middle because the chatchili should make a mitzvah on the top one.
Why?
You should make a mitzvah on the top one. Why? Because since we want to give each bracha a separate matzah. It's a side thing. According to the tastes and brachas, it's much more fundamental.
Like side, you're making the bracha on both of them, right?
But we want to be mechalik. There's a mile to have each bracha on each an object itself. To give each bracha its own chshivus, its own object.
But if you're saying it equally functions as part of the lechem mishnah, then the bracha is being said regardless of the second as well.
But we want to, since we want to remove it as much as we can from the idea of doing many mitzvahs on one thing. So we're machalik at the kapit brachas. It's not a fundamental chiluk taka. You look at Alter B'Shulchan Aruch, it's not a fundamental thing. This explains very well why the Rebbe doesn't bring taste. B'shas mered wegen yitzes and beide days. Mir seine taka nicht yitzes the day of taste and brachas.
Which piece are you talking about?
We're talking now Yitzid. We're talking now Yitzid. According to that shitta, you should break off the shleima right after. And according to that shitta, prusa is just niris. The pile that Rebbe bring beide dinim shchonar. Mit the ganze kaddish. The Rebbe brings the matzah should be ala prusa. And the Rebbe also brings the Rebbe's lashon, very strong lashon. The Rebbe says that the limud of mad, another limud, it should be orem ebreit and mizal esna zivyan orema. The Rebbe brings both limudim. Two pratim. One in the matzah should be prusa, should be a lechem, and then azay mizal esen matzah bekedar kishalani. And it's also a ganze din according to Alter Rebbe. So Alter Rebbe brings both. So both pratim. But v'achas men yetze beide days. Mis yetze beide only the days of the Rashi, the Rashbam, the Ri, the Rosh. We're not yetze tastes in brachas taki. Because according to tastes, all these Rishonim, Rashi and the Rashbam, Ri and the Rosh, Hatzad Shavash ben Kulam is they say make a mitzvah on the shleima, matzah on the prusa, and they say that you're betzeya after making both brachas. Right. Tastes and brachas are nicht das. So the Rebbe brings dafke these shittas. Jen shittas is taken nicht yetze. Anyways, this is the Nekudas Hadavar. Is the Mazbur saying here and there, but this is the Nekudas Hadavar. Yeah, if you look in Rabbi Shachat's piece, he goes up under Mahalach Abisul. He has a long, a couple of 100 pages. So, this shtiklach, he has a lot. But the prat,
How big is the set?
100 pages. What do you mean set? 100 pages, no? What do you mean the set?
There's 100 pages.
On this time. No, not this one. But the Maisa is, but nicht alle Patten sind in der. There's a lot of shakataris there that you could take out. A lot of Zaytika things not to explain the Ketayim itself. When it comes to the Ketayim itself, there's a lot of when it comes to the Ketayim, etwas nicht klar, the Maskana, wie es ist geteilt. But some things that I said, Lepayel, I think there's Vart of the Ramshem Mavagan, I think he says it there also. But it's sicher das Shinei, weil ich habe nicht gesehen die Jahre, es ist sicher das Shinei. But macht that according to Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, you're not Yetze Beidash Deyes Epis. And the Rebbe says, Epis he has, and he learns this piece. There is being Masber, Epis Ale Drai, Epis. Anyways, there's more pratim here, why, there's more, but this is different clearly. Zen Kodachas.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying you have to go through every shitta. What's the? I'm saying yesh makim la'ayin the biur of each shitta. I'm saying this. Good. Yesh makim la'ayin in the biur of each shitta.